A picture that you could never see in any other way.
everybody. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Thank you, DJ. Very kind of you. Hope you are well. I hope things are going well today. We're going to have a big talk. It's big talk time. How are you? I'm trying to pull up chat. Can't find it. Here it is. Come on, chat. Work with me here. Good to see you, Ukulele. Hello, Arcone. Oh, you got a sicky corner too? Oh no, you're sick, and we got a couple sickies here, and golly, walks into chat, breaks things. Bring it on, man. It's all you. Girk says, apparently I stared at my screen so much yesterday I got cyber sickness, motion sickness from the screen. And then when I went to bed, the dream the dream also gave me motion sickness. Oh no. That's okay, that's too much. That's too much gaming. When the dream games are causing you to get sick, it's time to put down the controller and go look at the horizon for a bit. You need to get that focal point a little further away from your head. Thank you for the sub, DJ. I appreciate that. Hope you're well. Hello, Jones. Battle of the Fever all night. You know what that means? I do. Hopefully that means we can do some Destiny. Yo. Hey, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, Quiz. Interesting. The one of my chat says 38 months. The other one says 42 months. Which is it? Who is the real Quiz? I'm going to go with 42, so because that's the one from actual Twitch. Gonna need a Sherpa you through a dungeon. Yeah, I've been watching videos on Destiny and kind of like, you know, the whole which is the good gun, which is the good build, where do you need to go, how do the menus work, all that jazz. And it's been fun. I finally got to level 6 last night. I'm like, I gotta get up, man. And so I did all my gunsmith stuff, and now I'm boss, you know, super boss. Current lack of streak and laments short Tuesday streams. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's me. But we had a blast on the Discord. That was really cool. So yesterday we jumped into yesterday we were playing. We talked a little bit about, you know, creator stuff, and then we jumped into the Taco Discord and we just kind of hung out. And there was at one point I think we had like 12 people there. And we were, you know, I shared my story and other people shared their story, and it was great. Yeah, it was really, really good. So I'm going to keep doing that. It was really good. I'm doing okay today. Yes. Today I'm keeping it at 4.5 hearts because I think it's accurate. 4.5 hearts is plenty. Yeah, no, it was super good, Girk. I'm caught up. Yeah, apparently they reboot back to 6, so we'll keep going, and it's a lot of fun. We'll do a dungeon thing. Although Aki was like, "Well, I want to take you through your first dungeon," so I don't know what a dungeon is. So I think it'd probably be better for me to do it with like you than try to wait and embarrass myself with people who know what they're, you know. I don't know if he was gonna stream it, but like I don't want people to, you know, I don't know. Aki's a big deal. I just don't want to do that. Dungeons are the hardest things beside a raid. Okay, well maybe maybe he said raid then. Yeah, okay, let's do a dungeon, then we'll do a raid thing. I've already got my guns picked out. I don't have to do any gunsmith stuff now, and it never wants the guns that I want, so we're good. There is one I want to buy though. I've decided which one I'm gonna buy, and I'm excited about it. Tried to lurk in Discord, but I was working with 2 audios of what I was working on, and what you were saying with clashing. Yeah, I bet I can't do it either. Like I pull up people to lurk, but I can't have them chatting in my ear if I'm trying to do stuff. And so I feel bad because they're on mute all the time, you know? So how is a dungeon different than like the one that starts with V? The where you get 3 guys and you go do a thing. It would be your destiny to. He's got puns. Good job. Aki's running people through the hardest event difficulty of a dungeon this week. Yes. Okay. I'm glad. Yeah. We'll stick with you. That works for me. I'm gonna pull up the notes so that we can make sure that you know what's going on here, just so you know that I am ready. There we go. That's centered. Perfect. Oh, I'm so good at video games. Okay, cool. So today, yeah, we're gonna be talking about the thing that nobody wants to talk about, you know, the whole y'all need friends, let's go find some, but in like a nice way, not in a guilt-inducing way, not in like a way where we're like making everybody feel bad about, you know, not doing quote unquote enough. I know. So we're gonna do it in a sensitive way. We're gonna do it in a way that makes sense. I know I struggle with it, so I'm not gonna be doing you know, being mean and saying it's easy to get out there and et cetera, et cetera. Real friends. Well, if with guys, so you know, it's a friend. Like if you're an acquaintance or if you're just someone you know or you whatever, they're nice to you. The more you are a friend with someone as a guy, generally, the meaner you are, right? When you leave on an airplane or you leave on a trip or whatever like that, you're all your acquaintances and families like, have a good trip, be safe, and your best friend's like, hope you crash and die, man. Like, thumbs up, man. Yeah. Real friends are nice? Nope, not in my experience. Maybe that's just me, man. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so you'll know if I'm your friend if I'm super mean to you. How about that? That's how I show my affection. All right. Yeah, all right. So before we jump in, I just want to make sure that you guys have the chance to ask whatever you want, talk about whatever you want. I know, that's the thing. Right, Gert? There you go. We're not quite bosom buddies yet. Once I start hating your guts, then you'll know that we're good friends. I don't make the rules. Yeah, but like I said, before we jump in, it's always an opportunity for you guys to chat and ask about stuff and to bring up AMA. So what are your thoughts before we do anything else? And then we'll jump into it. What do you mean, sleepy wifey? I'd love to hear more about what you mean about that. Were they? How do you figure? I'm a little distracted right now because I'm remembering that someone said my setup for this screen wasn't effective for them, and they're like, if you could do this, it would be really helpful. And I'm like, I forgot to do that. And now I kind of feel bad. But you know what? It's fine. We're gonna work with what we got. Okay, let me pray. I'll switch out. We're gonna go to we'll do some jazz. Why not? And then I'll pray, and then we'll jump into the talk today. How's that sound? That is not correct. That's better. Lord, thank you for the stream, for the day, for the blessing of being able to chat about this stuff. I pray that you'd help me to be helpful, me to point at your word, me to convey whatever you want to say. Let it be sensitive and kind. I know that there are many, including myself, who struggle with friendships and relationships and going out. And sometimes it's because physical or emotional or mental, spiritual, relational, just stuff going on inside. And we know that you are amazing. We love being with you. We love, walking with you and reading your word and knowing your presence. But at the same time, when it comes to people, that's hard. And so I pray as we start to talk about how to include people in our life and how to and ways to do that you would inspire us towards obedience, but at the same time to do it in a way that it honors you and helps us. God, this is real sensitive stuff, and I know that you are you're clear about how important it is that we're in relationship with others, but at the same time, you know our heart. So help us be purposeful and meaningful and helpful. Amen. Grabbed a fishing pole and almost whacked me with it, and so I said, so we're not happy and being told no. Yeah, I bet. Getting whacked with something is not cool. Not cool at all. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the talk button. Boop. Today we're gonna be talking about building relationships so that when you're going through tough times, you have some kind of support system. One of the things that I see consistently online, and when you go to the Taco Discord, when you go to any of the groups, a lot of streamers, a lot of people that you kind of hang out with, there's sort of this overwhelming commonality of loneliness or social anxiety, fear of people, of being abused, having been forgotten, having been treated badly. And the solution that so many have come up with is sort of to isolate. They pull themselves inward, they pull themselves toward more virtual relationships, they cut themselves off from others, and they just kind of though they're trying to protect themselves, it ends up being working against them. They, instead of protecting them from feeling badly, now they feel lonely. Instead of protecting them from people saying mean stuff, now they don't hear anybody saying nice stuff, right? So it doesn't work for them when they start to pull backwards. When they start engaging, engaging in something, it's hard to start. Where do you go? Do I join a sports team? Do I go to a club? Do I go to church? Do I start serving? Do I just kind of show up? Like, what if nobody notices? And it's a whole thing. It's really, really difficult. And so I kind of want to go through practically and step by step and philosophically and hopefully with a little bit of safety in the middle of building those meaningful relationships. I believe it's critically important that all of us, no matter where we are, have these relationships in our life, and that we're able to find ones that actually serve us, as opposed to, I'm not against professional counseling, but a professional counselor isn't your best friend, right? A professional counselor isn't your, the one that you can go run to at any time. They have a job and they're good, and I'm glad for them, but they're not your friend. They're not your, someone who's gonna confide in you and come and help you change your tire on the side of the road. We need those kind of people in our life too. So how do we do that when we are either too far gone, we're kind of a mess, and we haven't seen anybody in a long time, we kind of live online, or how do we do it if we're facing abuse, right? Isolation from others and feeling a sense of fear. Like, how do you do it? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Them not being your friend is why they're effective. Yeah, exactly. So the acknowledgement here, when life gets hard, it's natural to retreat, to close off, put up walls, try to handle everything alone. I know for me, that's my instinct. So often my instinct when something goes sideways is to lean on my own strength, just me and God, and just put walls up. Can't trust people. People are the worst. They're going to hurt you. Nobody understands. Nobody's been through, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so therefore I'll just do it myself. Sometimes when I've reached out in the past, people have taken that and used it against me. Sometimes I've reached out and people have misunderstood, or they, they're like, they try to solve it immediately, or like they just so much easier if I don't have anybody in my business. It is really tempting to do that for me, and I'd imagine for many of you too, to pull back and be like, I'll just deal with it myself. Adding other people to the mix makes it worse. But scripture and experience, like every counselor, throughout the Bible, every church father, everybody, as important as time alone with God is, as important as, your prayer closet, and there is times when you can be alone. There's nothing that says, you should go just be alone forever. The monks of old, where they would go wander into the desert and go climb a mountain, sit in a cave and whatnot, we sometimes revere them as super spiritual, but they were disobedient in the area of being around other people. God doesn't go, okay, it's just you and me, now leave humanity, go sit cross-legged on a mountain somewhere. he said, now that you're in my family, come meet my family, come be part of this. You're not meant to be alone. The Bible has lots of examples, and just a few. You had Moses. That's a great example. Like, he had his dad. I remember at one point, or his father-in-law. Moses was trying to lead everybody, and there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people, but everybody was coming to him. And his father-in-law, what was his name? Jephthah? I can't remember, but his father-in-law came to him like, what you're doing is dumb. Stop it. You're going to burn yourself out. You're not helping people. You need help. And Moses, who was, the appointed person, he was the prophet. He was the guy that was supposed to be in charge of stuff, just assumed he had to do it by himself. And so the father-in-law just said, listen, you gotta help. And so he broke it off, and he created like a little team, and those teams had teams, and those teams had teams. And then that way he only had to deal with the really, kind of the big stuff. And it was because though he was chosen by God, though he was Moses, though he was the one leading the pack, him doing it alone was not good, right? Him doing it alone was not good. Same thing with Aaron. When Moses was talking to God, at the very beginning when he was being called, he's like, I'm not the right guy. I don't know what I'm doing. You're calling the wrong guy. God's solution wasn't to tell Moses, okay, fine, I'll find someone else. It was, okay, I'll give you someone to work with. I'll give you a support system. I'll bring you Aaron, and he can be your partner. Like, work this together. David had Jonathan. David was going through hard times. They became best friends. Paul, even he had Barnabas, Timothy, Luke, right? Titus. He had people around, even though he was Paul, and he was the one planting, and he was the one who was the apostle. He was the one who's writing scripture. He needed people. He needed support systems. He needed helpers. He had the entire Philippian church was like his friend. They weren't just financial support systems. They weren't just like amanuensis, and they weren't just like people who carried his stuff or his doctor. They were friends. They were support systems, and they were people that he longed to be with. Like, the relationship he had with Timothy wasn't just teacher and student. It wasn't just apostle and elder. It was father and son, right? It was people connected to each other, and in a meaningful, emotional way. Hello, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. So all the way through, no matter how talented they were, no matter how big a deal they were, no matter how important their job was, they needed to have other people with them. We are no different. Jesus, could he have done everything by himself? Of course he could have. He is Jesus. He is God. He has everything necessary. And he said, within working with his own system, he chose to work with people. He chose to go find flawed, difficult people who didn't understand, that were going to, eventually betray him. He still was around them because he set the example that we need people, right? We need people. And that's just how he has created this world to function. I think that one of the things that we do as people, as Christians, as humans, is that we lie to ourselves and believe that we're the exception, right? I can deal with this myself. I nobody will understand if I talk about it. I don't need a friend. I don't need whatever. I can just do this with professionals, or everything I do is too complex. They wouldn't understand. I'm not good at communicating, so therefore they don't understand. I've hurt too many people in the past, or when I share my feelings, I'm like an infection. Like whenever I share my feelings, other people get sad. I don't want to do that to them. And so we convince ourselves that we need to be alone. But there's nobody who should be alone. You're never meant to, right? Are there times where you go on a, sort of the into the desert times where you go and talk to God? For sure. Times where you're in your prayer closet? For sure. There are times when you study alone. Yeah, a lot of the times with God, there is alone times, but you're never meant to stay there. Never meant to stay there. In fact, isolation is one of the enemy's favorite tactics. And you'll know this because when things start going sideways in your life, the first thing you want to do is run away, right? The first thing, like I remember, I've told the story before, but I remember being in a church where there was a lady there, and she got a black eye. She got, bumped into something. I can't remember what, but she didn't want to come to church anymore, right? She's like, I can't come to church until the black eye is better, because if I come to church, people are going to ask me questions, people are going to whatever. I can't do that. And so as soon as something happened, her response wasn't to go find help. It was to hide. Well, I need to be away from the church family, which is such a bizarre thought when it comes to you're in pain, you are going through a hard time, something bad happened to you, you need assistance, and yet the immediate temptation is to run away, right? I'm in debt and I don't know what to do. I better, work this out myself and never tell anybody. I'm in physical pain. I've just been hurt or abused. I am lost and confused. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't have any friends. I feel lonely, feel sad. I'm dealing with addiction. I'm dealing with all sorts of, kind of horrible thoughts. And the instinct is to stay alone. Well, I better, I need to work myself out. I need to figure myself out. Then I can go out. And it's exactly the opposite of that. What happens when you get alone and you isolate yourself is you become an easier target for the enemy to just turn you inside out, mess with your head, convince you of lies, put you in a situation where you are now, super addicted to stuff, or you're absolutely bound because you are, you didn't have anybody to talk you out of it. If you'll notice, and I don't know, I'll ask chat, I'll just kind of say, of all the people here, how many of you struggle with that idea that when something bad happens, or something difficult happens, or you do something bad, or whatever, that your instinct is to run away? Your instinct is to be alone. Your instinct is to, I'm not going to do communion. I'm not going to go to church. I'm not going to go to small group. I'm not going to go to talk to my friends. I'm not going to go online. I'm not going to stream. I'm not going to, create. I'm just going to be, I just need to be by myself. How many of you have that instinct, right? I know I do. I feel sometimes that it's very informed. Like when I start saying, like when things go badly and I'm like, I'm just going to go be by myself. I can absolutely convince myself, right? Self-doubt and criticism. We're going to talk about self-talk in a bit. Yeah. It's not easy. It's life isn't easy, but it's way harder when we're by ourselves. Going far requires going together. All right. The danger of isolation versus healthy solitude. I wanted to talk a little bit about that idea of why isolation can be so dangerous, and versus, the time where you should be away. And so in Genesis 2:18, God observes, it is not good for man to be alone. That's such a powerful thing. Consider at the very beginning of the world, there stands Adam, there stands God. He's looking at a brand new world, no fall, no sin, all good. Everything in it was good. And yet when he looks at Adam, he said, that's not good, right? God was standing next to Adam. They were in perfect union, perfect relationship. Nothing was between them. They were able to communicate perfectly. And yet God still said, it's not good for Adam to be alone. He needs someone. No matter how perfect the environment was, no matter how close his relationship was with God, the math required, the success required, his world required that there would be people in unity. It's not good for man to be alone, even in the midst of perfection. Okay, we are meant for people. It comes before the fall, and it is God's design for how humans work. We need human companionship. We can't get away from it, and you shouldn't try to get away from it. Isolation, as you pull away, is gonna be the thing that gets you in the most amount of trouble, right? Like you think about the way that even in the Garden of Eden, when they went to sin, right? It was immediately they run and hide. Immediately they start blaming each other. They start separating from each other. It's his fault. It's her fault. And it wasn't, like they start pulling back and pulling away. And as soon as sin enters the world, suddenly so does hiding, so does shame, so does covering up, so does running and hiding. That's what happens when things go sideways, is we end up pulling away. Emotional, spiritual, physical distance. It's part of the human condition that when things go bad, we try to get alone, but it's dangerous. There's a proverb that says, whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment, right? The throughout the Psalms, throughout the Bible, you see the critical nature or the criticism of, shall we say, anybody who is trying to be wise on their own. Or you say, the wisest people are the ones who surround themselves with good counsel, with good friends, with accountability, with the court of three kind of thing. Like, being one is always seen as a bad thing. We always need each other. When you are isolated, you're going to be in trouble. So here are some signs of harmful isolation, right? Things that are that show that things are going sideways, right? Things are going sideways. So number one here, avoiding social interactions even when opportunities arise. Here's what I'm trying to do is I want you to consider and ask yourself, am I isolating myself? Because sometimes we can fool ourselves, be like, no, I'm not isolating myself. I call my mom and dad, brother, sister, whatever. I go to church. I have a group. I go on to stream, or I have an online, church or whatever. But I want to kind of go through a whole bunch of different ways that maybe you might be isolating yourself and not noticing, that you might be pulling yourself away from human connection that is actually going to work against you. If it's not already working against you, that can be a place of danger. So as I go through these, maybe it'll catch you too. So avoiding social interactions even when opportunities arise, right? So this isn't, I'm tired, I can't do another thing. I can't do another party. No, I don't want to go to that movie. This is, when it's something you want to do, it's something that you would normally do. It's something that it comes up in front of you, whether it be planned or whether it just be an opportunity that's spontaneous. And you just keep saying no, right? No, I don't want to go out. No, I don't want to see you. No, I don't really want coffee right now. No, I don't want to, I don't want to play. We're going to play Destiny 2 later. Right now, I don't want to really be on that. I don't really want to be with people. No, I don't want to watch that show with you. Your family's like, hey, you want to come watch a show? No, I'll go be by myself. I go be by myself. And no matter what's being said, you find yourself choosing the alone part. Whereas normally you would have maybe gone and done that thing, even a simple thing. They're in your house. They are your family. They're next to you or whatever. And it's like, no, I'll go be by myself. I'm going to go grab my laptop and go sit in my room. Or it's too much effort to even jump on the Discord and go say hello. It's too much effort to go and show up to the group that you signed yourself up for, or to be part of the band that you were supposed to be practicing with. You're just like, no, you know what? These are things that I could be doing, but I'm choosing not to. That's a harmful isolation sign. Number two, withdrawing from community, including church and support groups, where you start cutting people out and cutting groups out. Now, there's a positive side to this, where if you're busy out of your mind, right, and you're like, man, I gotta narrow it down. I gotta make sure that I take care of myself, take care of my health. I gotta take care of what's in front of me. I'm doing too much. I gotta pull back. That's not what we're talking about. This is where they are good things, and they are things you'd normally do and things you'd normally enjoy, things that you want to be part of, and you start pulling out, right? Whereas normally you'd go to Sunday school, you don't. Whereas normally you'd go to the practice, you don't. Whereas normally you'd go to hang out at the whatever place and have wings with the guys or whatever. Now you're not. When it comes to support groups, or when it comes to like your counselor or the class or the like addiction group or whatever the thing is, right? Even if it's something fun, your bowling team, you find you're not signing up anymore. You're making excuses not to go, and you start to pull yourself away from this stuff. What those groups were intended to do, and one of the best things about getting involved, is that you're forced to, right? Having that accountability. It's like when you start exercising, you start dieting, you start doing anything. If you have someone else to go with, if you have someone else to take you, you have someone else that is going to be missing you if you're not there, it's so much easier to get there. But as soon as it's only on you, then it's really hard to self-motivate. So as you pull away from these things, which are meant to get you out of bed on Sunday, get you out of bed on Wednesday night, get you out of bed, get you to the computer, get you to hanging out with your fire team or whatever your favorite squad is online. As soon as you start pulling away from that, even though you made a commitment, that's a danger sign. So are you pulling back from these things that are meant to kind of pull you out? That's that can be a sign of a harmful isolation that you're getting yourself in trouble, or you're going to be in trouble. Another one, neglecting self-care, such as nutrition, hygiene, sleep. Another sign of dangerous isolation or ways that you are causing yourself harm is if you find that, like you're not going for a shower, you're not having a vegetable, you're not going out and, you haven't had a fiber in a while, you haven't taken a walk in a while, you give up brushing your teeth, night and day kind of thing. Your sleep schedule is whack. When your self-care goes out the window, that is a sign that you are isolating yourself. Why is it an isolation sign and not just a health sign? It's because people who love you, people who care about you, will look at you and be like, dude, go brush your teeth. Or, dude, you need a shower. Or, dude, your room is a mess. Or, hey, when was the last time you ate something that wasn't prepackaged, right? They care about you, and because they love you, they'll ask you those questions. But if you're pulling away or you pulled away, you don't have the folks to be able to kind of bump into you that way. And that negative self-care, that the problem that you're having and falling off the wagon there, is a sign that you're alone, a sign that your isolation is causing you harm, and will eventually. If you look at statistics, one of the leading causes of, I'm trying to phrase it properly, but like of heart disease, of early death, of all kinds of like really bad stuff, is people who live alone, right? People who don't have folks around them going, hey, you really should clean your room, you really should vacuum, or you really should take your medicine, you really should go to the doctor. Like those people live longer because they have someone looking over their shoulder. And it's if you find yourself not being motivated to eat well, sleep well, take care of yourself, it could be just not only a sign that, hey, you've got depression, you're going through mental health stuff, but also that you are alone, and that you one of the solutions therefore is to find people, or find a group, or find something that will be able to make you get out. Suppressing emotions is another one. Negative isolation, suppressing emotions. In other words, when you have an opportunity to share, whether you're at your Bible group, your small group, with your team, hanging out with your friends, going out, doing whatever, in the Discord, in the prayer group, in the your whatever place, when you have a chance to share, how's everybody doing? You pull it inwards. You don't want to say, you don't want to talk about it. You pretend that you're not having that emotion. You just kind of crush it into that box inside of you and hoping it'll just stay there and not be a problem. The more you do that, the more turmoil you go through. That box, and I've used this illustration before, but it's a good one. And that is, you take all that stuff and you put it into that box. Well, it's not going away. What it's doing in that box is it's festering. It's kind of like rotten meat. We're just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And eventually, as the box can't be held, you keep cracking it open, and it either leaks or explodes. And that toxicity, the grossness that you've now have in that box, is making everything worse, and is making every part of your life poisoned. That is the suppression, right? The people who have folks in their life, the people that do have sort of those healthy relationships, they're able to go, actually, I'm having a bad day. Actually, I'm having a struggle. Actually, I'm really confused about this. I really could use some advice. Or I'm really angry at that person, or you wouldn't believe what so-and-so did. And you have someone in your life to work through that with you. But as you keep pushing those emotions down, the more you are going to cause yourself problems. You need to share it with people. That's why counseling is such a big deal, and I'm a big fan of it, because at least it's somewhere you can crack open that box in a safe location and kind of root around in there a bit. I knew somebody who, they really struggled with counseling, because when they went to counseling, they're like, they stir up all my stuff, and then I'm just mad, right? I'm just angry, and I don't like it. And then they're like, okay, bye, after 45 minutes or so, right? And so I don't like counseling, right? But the idea is that what's happening is you're cracking open that box and you're looking inside, and there's so much going on in there you haven't dealt with, that it's more than 45 minutes. But that the counselor's supposed to help you process it, and then you're going to have to do some heavy lifting with some other places. But your solution of just keeping the box closed is only going to hurt you. You need to have people around that you can share that stuff with. Feeling disconnected or detached, even in social situations. this is one I personally really struggle with. The other day, I realized how much I've spent alone and how much time I've spent kind of just in my head in my office. We went out, there was a free barbecue thing that was happening at my kid's work. And so he's like, let's go have a burger. Okay, cool. So we go out and have a burger, and I'm standing there, and there's the burger person handing out the burger. And all of a sudden I just get really nervous. And my son being all social, talking to somebody, because he works with that person. And so they're having whatever. And I literally backed off, took my burger, wandered off, went behind a box, like into a little dark corner, and stayed there. And I just sat there and I ate my burger. Why? I don't like, there was a lot going on. It's like, am I ashamed that I'm eating? Am I ashamed? Am I afraid of this really nice person who gave me a hamburger? Do I not want to be with my son? Like, what's going on in here? And what I discovered, or what it could be, is that the level of disconnection and detachment that I had, even when being out around people, is very real. And it means that chances are, or very much true, is that I'm not spending time with folks. I'm spending more and more time alone, more and more time by myself, more and more time with where my relationships are professional, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's the conversation is about something that I'm the leader of, or I'm the participant in, or this is a piece of work I have to do, as opposed to connecting socially. It's a lot easier for me anyway to have a professional conversation, or to have let's talk about something important, for me to do counseling, than it is for me to have a social interaction. I'm not very good at them, and I get really nervous about them. And so if it's that's the way it is, and it's not good. I know that's bad, but it's a sign that things are going sideways, and that your isolation is at harmful levels. If even when you are around people and you have the opportunity to connect, you find yourself withdrawing, being detached, being like there's a party happening in front of you, there's a group happening around you, but you don't feel like you're part of it. That's something going on inside here, and I'm struggling with that right now myself. Heightened anxiety or depression without clear external causes. If you, this is a better way to phrase this is sort of like, if you find that you got a lot of ups and downs, right? And they don't seem to be connected to any particular thing happening. Maybe you can kind of point at something. Well, it's because so-and-so was upset, or because such and such situation happened, or because someone cut me off in traffic, and that's why I'm so, upset or anxious or angry, or why I'm so down. But the truth is, it's that the weight or the breadth, the depth of that emotion doesn't connect to what happened, right? Like, you went and your coupon was expired and you couldn't use it. And now you're just like, everything is the worst. This is so stupid. Nothing works for me. And you just lose your marbles, right? Hello! We'll take a little break for the raid. Hi. Hello, Bronson. Hello, Jesus Hype. Good to see you. I was lurking in your stream yesterday. How are you? Good to see you. I need to start working on my own dad jokes. That was the stream? Just a dad joke stream? I like that. If that's the case, I'm all for it. What's up, Crispy? How you doing, man? She can give me a lousy coupon. Ah, man, that sucks. I'm just saying, it's a thing. It could throw you off. Good to see you, Bronson. Hello. How are you? Thank you, Crispy. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to look you dead in the eye and go, thank you. That was really encouraging yesterday. I really appreciate it. Really, really kind. Came at a very good time. You're the best. Oh, the chicken that he fights with. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Connor stopped in last night. Great to see her. I don't know who that is, but cool. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the stream. My name's XtianNinja. It is Wednesday, so it's Wellness Wednesday. What we do on Wellness Wednesday is we talk about a big subject. We have some kind of big talk, and today we're talking about building meaningful support systems in hard times. We've talked about the danger of isolation, the importance of relationships. Now we're going through real life signs of harmful isolation. That's what we're talking about today. the danger of isolation, why you need to be careful, what are the signs that you're starting to, pull yourself away, or the dangers therein. And that's what we talk about on Wednesdays, is some kind of really big subject. But what were you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for bringing your community over. It means a lot. Is that Ness? You got Ness on there? That is Ness, right? I have not played Everbound, Earthbound, Earth Tremor, the Earth one that everybody likes. I haven't played it yet. I played it a little bit, but I never really got into it. It looked fun though, just a lot of reading. Earthbound 2, yeah, I've heard like when they go through lists of the best RPGs, or best, I guess, yeah, RPGs or whatever those are. Earthbound's always on there. Apparently it was next level even at its time, which is cool. I have, like, I don't know if you can see, but like right there, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna do this one. If you look here, that is a Nintendo NES, and that is a Super Nintendo, the remake, and it was it's on there. I could technically play it. Earthbound originally only released in Japan. Could be wrong. Yeah, it's cool. I think, you know what? I think you might be right. Yeah, I don't plug it in enough. In fact, it just kind of sits on my shelf looking cool right now, and I feel kind of bad having this piece of technology and like with classic games and stuff, and I just look at it on the way by. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I do nothing with it. Feel like I should give that away. Like, if someone else could enjoy this more, but it looks good on my shelf, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to jump back into the talk, and so we're going to we'll keep going. And so if you have any questions or you want to jump in, that's totally cool. In the meantime, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so we just talked about experiencing heightened anxiety or depression without clear external causes, right? That idea of there's so much going on in your heart, so much going on in your life, but it's not really, it's less than your feelings should be. If you had people in your life that can help you filter that, it's a lot easier to process, right? So say, for example, you feel absolutely wiped out. Usually it's because there's so much backlog, there's so much stuff in the background of your life that the coupon, right? The coupon that you got upset with and it kind of blew your whole day out of the water. It wasn't that. It was all these things that came before that were all adding up in your heart that you weren't letting out, that you weren't talking to people about, that you weren't, relating to someone. There's certain, misery loves company is true. If you sit there and you're like, hey man, I went to this situation and the bad thing happened, and someone goes, you know what? I went to the situation and a bad thing happened to me too. And you both look at each other and go, that really sucks. And yes, that does. And suddenly you feel better, right? Now that decreases the level of emotional baggage that you have with you. And that can only happen when you're in relationship with other people and opening up and spending time with them. It happens accidentally, right? It happens incidentally. It happens just randomly. And those interactions that you can't plan, that you can't pay for, that you can't make happen, they are very healing, and they keep that giant emotional wave from taking over. Increased irritability or anger directed inward or toward others, right? That's another one. If you're extra angry, if you're extra irritable all the time, you're really grumpy, you want to take it out on people online, you want to take it out on people in the store, you're just a big grumpy grump. And it's not, again, it's more extreme than the situation warrants. It's more extreme than than what the person did. Like, you're really angry, but they didn't do that much, and you're wondering why you're so it's because it could be because you haven't had a release for that, and it's all kind of building up, and you're spreading it on people because you haven't had a chance to talk it through with someone. You haven't had a chance to relate to someone. Or inward anger, because all you see is your own negative stuff. All you see is that like, oh man, I'm so bad at this, and my room isn't very good, and I don't have, this, and I should be making this, and I told myself I'd do this and I didn't, and I'm so bad at, and that you just keep beating yourself up. And this is, negative self-talk or feelings of worthlessness, right? This thing here is that negative self-talk starts piling on, but you don't have someone in your life to kind of hit stop and go, actually, you do have value. Actually, you're being a bit more extreme. Actually, this is the correct interpretation. Actually, not that big a deal. Actually, I could help with that. And because you don't have someone to kind of pull you out of that, because you're not sharing, because you're not in relationship, because you're not connecting and bumping into people, that self-talk, that worthlessness, that really negative stuff that gets you angry, upset, or just feeling horrible, there's no one to stop it, right? And you'd be like, well, I just talked to Jesus about it. Well, what ends up happening is you end up pushing that self-talk onto God. So instead of God being a gracious, forgiving, loving, patient God, suddenly you start putting words in his mouth. How about how mad he is at you, how sick he is of your consistent prayer life, how annoyed he is by how you never change, about how he's punishing you, and that's why you feel bad and why you deserve it, and how, and now suddenly he goes from a friend to the king who's against you. He goes from one who's closer than a brother to the Lord who is just disappointed in you all the time. And you end up projecting onto God all that negative stuff because you don't have anybody to break it. It's really dangerous to be alone in that way. Engaging in escapist behavior such as excessive gaming, binge watching, substance abuse. One of the things, if you don't have people around to stop you or to go, hey, that's too much, you can fall into this trap. It's a sign that you are isolating yourself. A sign that you are in danger is if you're like, man, I'm doing a lot more TV watching, doing a lot more video game playing, I'm doing a lot more eating, I'm doing a lot more looking at porn, I'm doing a lot more of the gambling, whatever it is, your thing that you're pulled towards, whatever it be, weed or alcohol or whatever, you're trying to get away from yourself in this sense of isolation. You're inside of you're in your own head, but you the only way that you feel like you can get out and kind of take a vacation from your own negative thoughts is through the game, is through the Netflix, is through the substance. That's how you escape. What you should be doing, like a healthy person would do, is they go and they literally get out of their room. They literally go with other people. They literally get the endorphins and the serotonin and the dopamine from interactions with people and doing something purposeful, meaningful, helpful, good, fun. And instead, the way that you get that is through the chemical or through the entertainment. If only 18-year-old me understood this. Yeah, exactly, right? We do. Yeah, well, and you need, sometimes you can't know yourself because you're the best liar to yourself. Nobody can lie to you like you can lie to you. Nobody can tell you what you need to hear, or what you want to hear more than you can, right? And nobody can hurt you more than you can. Because if someone says something mean to you and you don't believe it, it doesn't hurt, right? It's if someone says something mean to you, but it's something you believe about yourself, and it tweaks onto that thing that you keep saying to yourself about how, you are ugly, you are stupid, you are foolish, you are, worthless, you are whatever, and they hit you with that. It's not because they were so horrible. It's because you believed it. Nobody can hurt you more than you can. And you need people in your life to pull you out of that. Yeah. Declining invitations from friends or family, even when there's desire to accept. And that's the difference, right? We talked about even when there's opportunity, that was up here. Even when there's opportunity, this is even when you want to, right? You got people in your life that are like, yeah, and you're like, yeah, I would like to go. And you just can't. You don't want to, you don't feel like you could. It's just too hard to get up to take the shower, to get yourself in clothes. You got to find all kinds of excuses. And all of a sudden it's like, even though you want to be around the people who love you and accept you and are part of it should be part of your life, you just keep saying no. That's really dangerous. Because you could fool yourself, right? Oh, I can't go because I don't have anything to wear. Oh, I can't go because I'm really busy. Oh, I can't go because, it's I don't want to bum everybody out. That's my favorite negative one is, if I go, I'm going to make their life worse, so therefore I shouldn't go. Whereas they're all like, if they come, they would feel better, and we would make them feel better, right? You could literally lie yourself into believing that you shouldn't be around your friends and family, and you end up pulling back. That's dangerous. And then, of course, we talked about the negative self-talk. Why did I go through this really long list? It's because I think that you need to know if you are at a place where you are in isolation in a harmful way. Because sometimes you're an introvert, sometimes you are, social anxiety, sometimes you've got, there's stuff going on, and you don't have to be a social butterfly. You don't have to be around people all the time. You don't have to be part of 12 groups and 20 discords and engaging all the time. But if you find that you're going through these things, right? Like, as in, you have a chance to go out, you don't. You have a chance to connect, you don't. You are falling apart on the inside and nobody can stop you. You're beating yourself up, or you're pushing all your emotions down and there's no one to share them with. If you feel like you shouldn't be around other people and you're pulling yourself backwards to be away, right? If you're always emotionally up and down, like when these things are happening, one of the reasons could be isolation, right? One of the reasons could be isolation, and that what you need is to get out. What you need is to talk. What you need is to communicate. One of the things we did yesterday on the Taco Discord is, and this is something I've been wanting to do for literally years, and that is to just have a time where we go hang out together. So I just picked Tuesdays afternoons, and so we went on, I played some Minecraft, we talked about stuff. I shared my story. Some others shared their story. We talked about what's going on in life. And even just releasing it, even just spitting it out, was healing. Because, like I said, I struggle with this too. And you're right, some friends can be bad, but we're not talking about that right now. Let's just go with there are good people out there, because that can be an excuse too, right? Well, I can't go out, they're just going to make me feel miserable. Well, that could be because your friends they're not your friends. You're using them as an excuse to be horrible. But we're not going to talk about that right now. Good to see you, Mother Goose. Healthy solitude, on the other hand, is intentional and restorative. Jesus often withdrew to solitary places to pray, demonstrating the value of alone time. And that's the thing. I'm not saying don't be alone ever, right? That's actually not good for you either. There are people who literally can't be alone. They wake up in the morning and they pop on a stream, or they pop on music, or they pop on a podcast, and then they go in their car and they turn on the radio, and then they go to work and they go to meetings, or they go talk to people, or they're at home and they're in meetings and they're on the phone. And as soon as they're done, they talk all the way to their car, and then they turn back on the radio, and then they go home and they turn on the TV, and then they make themselves food while there's noise. They are never alone, because for them, when they start to be alone, the thoughts start crowding in, the negativity starts crowding in, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the negative self-talk all starts crowding in, because they just they have so much packed in that they're not dealing with. And so there's some people who just aren't alone ever. They will not pull back, and they need to. So there is a good solitude, a good isolation, a good place where you go out and you take time alone. But sounds like yourself. Well, and it's dangerous, man. It's really dangerous. That what we're talking about today aren't the people who struggle with that, right? We're talking about people who struggle with the other side, and that is that they never are with other people. They really pull away so much so. And I think you can probably have both, to Cubemeister's point. And that is, one of the ways that you can fool yourself into believing that you're not so isolating so much is because you are, there's lots of noise, right? I'm listening to people. I'm always with, the streamers. I'm always in a Discord. I'm always with the video game. I'm always, there's always TV. I do my, what I call the friendship simulators. Like, one of the reasons people watch, Seinfeld and Friends and a lot of the other, show, why they're on loop, the Office, is because they're friendship simulators. You can feel the feelings of what it's like to be part of a group as you watch them. Those people are having friendship stuff. You feel friendship emotions, right? There's a reason why people will loop and loop and loop and loop on these exact same episodes, It's because they're lonely. And those shows simulate the feeling of having friends, right? Simulate the feeling of having friends. And it can be, they don't even notice how lonely they are. It's annoying when toddlers and young kids are like that, need constant human interaction, especially when the parents are black belt introverts. Yeah, well, that's actually one of the things that you're, as a dad, right, that you're told as a dad is to be careful with, because when you come home from work, you come home, whatever, and your wife, your mother, the mother has been talking baby talk for like 8 straight hours. They want to talk adult talk. And so that's why when you walk into the door, all of a sudden, you know, she can just go, blah, just here's the baby and mine, and we need to have a conversation. It's because, you know, she's been basically alone with the baby and glommed onto her, and she needs to get out, and she needs to have, you know, adult talk for a little while. Binge watching The Office for the 200th time probably isn't how. That's my point, is that it's gone from interesting or entertaining or whatever to covering for an emotion that you should be getting elsewhere, right? It's sort of the same as like if you have anxiety and you have worries and you have, you know, fears, and they're legitimate. You got actual problems, money problems, life problems, job problems, friend problems, family problems. They're real. Well, your choices are either healthy, deal with them by getting good counsel and to spend time praying about it, and, you know, maybe reading a book about it and talking to friends and, you know, opening up, or you can take all that anxiety and all that, you know, kind of fear and all that stuff, and you can remove it with a pill, right? You go take I'm not going to name them, but you know what I'm talking about. You take a pill and those anxiety feelings go away. You go and get a gummy bear from the gummy bear store, and you eat that, and suddenly all that anxiety goes away. Well, both remove the feeling, right? But one of them compresses the feeling, and it becomes really easy. It's hard to talk about it. It's hard to go into a group. It's hard to share what's going on inside. It's hard to say you're worried or whatever without sound, you know. It's really easy for you to go and to take a pill, take a magic gummy bear that makes the feelings go away. And when that becomes the only way to deal with it, you're on your 200th gummy bear, then yeah, you're no longer taking a break. You're no longer doing it for fun. You are doing it to escape, to be away from those feelings. And if you don't have anybody around, back to what we were talking about, to kind of go, you're doing that too much, man, you're going to fall apart. It's going to pull you apart. In summary, says the Cubester, I'd like to be a member of a larger group myself because I don't wish to be alone again. Yep. Good. Wife and I have been trying to cultivate good relationships that are both refreshing to us and allow us to refresh others. And they're out there. They're harder to find these days. Keep in mind that we just came out of the pandemic, and one thing they forced into the pandemic was that isolation, and you learned in a very real sense how dangerous that is to society. Like we're going to be feeling the effects of that for a long time, because addiction went out just went crazy, right? People were drinking and doing drugs way more. Divorce was rampant. People were dying alone. They weren't able to grieve properly. They weren't able to celebrate properly. Like all the stuff social stuff that was skipped will absolutely had massive negative consequences on society. We're still going to deal with it for a while. Our kids who weren't able to go to school or weren't able to do their social clubs or weren't able to go to teams suddenly are struggling with, they don't know how to date, and they don't have any relationships. They're addicted to their phone. They play, you know, whatever. They had to learn how to just compensate without anybody around. And after 2-3 years of doing that, suddenly it became normal. And the feeling of going out, domestic violence, going out, of going out and trying to find those teams, or being forced into having to be in a school group or something like that, it just didn't happen. And we're going to be dealing with that for a long, long time. Long time. My ignorant Southern community didn't completely shut down. Yeah, there were some people who fought it, and, that's a good thing. Self-takeout became an issue. Yeah. Yep. People just not cooking and debt like crazy for compensating, for sure, because anxiety was out the wazoo. Leave it to us humans, though. People complain they don't have enough time at home, then they're given time, and they can't handle that. Well, it's true. Well, because we are never in the right spot. I not to, get too distracted, but humans by definition are really paradoxical. In one sense, you have them going, I love change. The changing of the seasons. I love it when new things happen. I love innovation. I love novelty. Oh, can't wait for the new thing. And then they also get really anxious when new things happen and unexpected things happen and something changes and they don't like change. And so they're like, we got to keep everything the same, and we want to make sure everything is rock solid and nothing moves, and we go keep the old traditions and whatnot. And then within that solid structure, we're bored. We don't want to be here anymore. What's the deal? Why don't we do something different? Like we're never happy. No matter how solid everything is, no matter how novel everything is, we're never happy. And in the same way, right? Like when we're too alone, we fall apart. When we're around people too much, we can distract ourselves into oblivion. Yeah, it's really tough to live in our world. It really is. Sin is the worst. Had it been a 2-week lockdown, which it was initially, the effects would have been minimal. But yeah, we're going to be seeing it for a long time. I think really, as the generation turns into 2025, and you start seeing the kind of adults that are being created as a result of that, are going to be rough. Which is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. This is what Taco's here for. That's what my stream is here for. For folks like that to be able to be a crash ground, a crash pad, for them to be able to kind of go, I feel, bad, and I feel rough, and I don't know how to make friends, and whatever. And they come here, and we can be a place where they can do it at their own speed, do it in their own time, and then slowly get encouraged to grow back to health. God gave me so many kids because I grew up as an only child. Yeah, let's go. We're all Anakin Skywalker in a very real sense. That's as much as that's a joke. Yeah, can be. Yeah, very much so. And I was a pastor for a really long time. And one of the big lessons I learned is that everybody is going through some really, really, really tough stuff, or has gone through some really, really, really tough stuff. Everybody, without exception. The happiest person been through some scary, horrible stuff. The most, solid looking person that has the best faith ever, they've been through some hard stuff, going through some hard stuff. The person that looks like they're bouncing off the wall, if you scratch the surface, you find out that there's some real pain there. Everybody's going through stuff and has been through stuff. And that's why we need each other, because we're all going through stuff. One of the things, and not to get too far down, but one of the mistakes that drove Anakin towards the dark side was this whole isolation thing from the Jedi, right? Suppress your emotions, don't feel, don't connect, don't tell anybody, submit to your leader. If you have a feeling, pretend it's not there anymore, and then that way you'll be fine. And that's, no, that's not how to deal with that stuff. He was driven to not share, to not open up, to not tell people, because there would have been negative consequences to him going, I love, Padme. I don't feel like I want to follow all that. And so it ends up driving him inward and driving him into negativity, which leads him to be able to be emotionally abused by the emperor, right? Like there's a reason why it worked. Palpatine was smart and was able to give him the emotional freedom and permission that he was looking for, and he should have been getting from the Jedi. Shadow says, oftentimes people with the most... Oh, sorry. Samus says, just verifying, there are times when medication makes sense, right? Yeah. Like when a chemical imbalance is opposed to external trigger, like an abusive significant other or something. Yes. So I take a pill for my mental health, and it's because I was given a mental illness because of abuse. Not that I didn't grow up with it, but because of the consistent and long-term abuse that I faced, I have a rut in my brain that was carved there by others. And if I don't take the meds, then I live in the rut. It was handed to me. And so therefore the medication keeps me out of that biochemical rut. In the same way, some people struggle with, their serotonin going out of whack, or they got issues in their brain or whatever. Yeah, that we have medication. I would say that Medication is often way overprescribed. The GPs, like general practitioners, who will give it to people without even thinking about it. Go try this, go try this, go try this. And they end up addicted. They end up chasing side effects. They end up, completely whacked out, and it doesn't work for them. So yeah, there is a lot of, I think there's a lot of that, but I think there is a place for it. If you go to a secular GP, like a general practitioner doctor, and you say, I have anxiety, right? They're sitting in front of you. They got 10 minutes with you. They have a choice between either going, okay, share what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your life, what are you anxious about, or going, you need a counselor. And then they go, well, I don't have money for that. I don't know where to find that. There's no way that I can do that. I can't spend $200 an hour to talk to somebody. Everybody has social isolation issues. Loneliness is an epidemic right now in North America and around Western culture. Go look it up. The loneliness epidemic is real. It's been proclaimed as like a national health emergency in some countries. And because of that, they don't have friends to talk to. Their parents were divorced, so therefore they don't have their parents to talk to. They don't have brothers and sisters because nobody's having babies anymore. It's just, they're alone. And so you look at the GP and that person's like really frustrated. What are they going to do? Right? What are they going to do? They're going to go, here, have some of this. It'll help your anxiety go away. Maybe you can make it through another week or two. It's really unhealthy. That's what we're talking about today. There are much healthier ways to do that. And there are people who have had a bazillion pills, lots and lots of mood medication. And then they end up, once they start, kind of getting involved in stuff, they're going to church, they're starting to play sports, they're working out, they're hanging out with groups, they got, playing cards or, whatever. The thing is that's fun for them. And they get in groups and suddenly the medication goes down. Why? Well, because things are, the treatment is happening in their social life. Shadow says, oftentimes the people with the most solid faith have been through some of the hardest things in life. Almost always, it's 1-to-1. Scripture tells us that trials are what creates endurance. Yeah, no, it's everybody who has solid faith has been through stuff. It's the recipe. Chrono, healthy habits can overcome a lot of clinical issues that are treated with medications, but a lot less money can be made by telling people to eat salads and take more walks in the sun. And you're right, there is some conspiracy stuff to that, but at the same time, when nobody has time and nobody has family and everybody's lonely and DoorDash is easy and the food is made of garbage and you always feel bad and you're busy out of your mind and you can work anywhere, everywhere, all the time because it's now you can take your work home with you. You don't just leave the saw and walk away and go home. It's you take it with you when you go home. And now you're always stressed out. Nobody has enough employees because nobody hires enough people. Everything is breaking because you have, like they don't make them like they used to, is that are worked into the system. And so everything they have is breaking all the time because it's meant to be. So you live in this constant state of lack. It's really easy to go, I can't handle this anymore. I need something to make my brain stop. And instead of it being something healthy, it's far easier to make it be sugar, alcohol, meds, marijuana. Yeah, we don't have enough therapists. You're absolutely right. People do get told these things, but we don't do it. Then we go to the doctor for medical answers, so we get one. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. But remember how ukulele, people do get told these things. Yes, they do. But here's the thing: they're not within social structures when they're told it. So they go home and they're like, okay, go work out by themselves. Go find a group by yourself. Go make friends. How? Right? So they're given the right advice, but the actual methodology to get there is incredibly difficult. And so they fail. They will fail. They're set up for failure. Yeah, Arco's right. Yeah, the Jedi questionable decisions regarding love and romance, huge. Yeah, it's unhealthy. Instant gratification plays a factor. Building a healthy lifestyle is an overnight solution. Yep. And if you have people around that are able to go, hey, how about a carrot instead? You're more likely to succeed. Shenanigans says, I know I need this message and some of your other recents. Guess AI need to actually click on stuff to watch when I'm not working. Guess I need to click on stuff when I'm not working. Because life is really hard lately and sometimes I feel so alone. Yeah. You're not, I was going to just say you're not alone. In your loneliness, you are not alone because other people are lonely, but then they're alone. So you are alone in your loneliness, and we are not alone in the fact that we all are lonely. Does that make sense? That totally made sense. No need to explain. Chrono said, I definitely struggle. Yeah, well, maybe we should get together. There's an idea. If only we had a location to do that. I definitely struggle with stuff, but I feel better and less desolate when I work out, eat better, spend time. Yeah, you're a human machine. You're absolutely right. That's part of it. But I guess it's hard to do. It's impossible to do, nearly impossible to do by yourself. Sleepy says, so I might hit a deep root, maybe. The part of the book, I Surrender All. I mean, I guess it doesn't count towards non-believers. I was reading about we are new, we are adopted, our sin is dead, we are alive in Christ. That's true. You're not wrong, but we still contend with the flesh, and we're not meant to contend alone. We're to, bear one another's burdens and confess our sins to one another and lift one another up and spur one another on towards love and good deeds and take care of each other's needs and share with one another, be generous with one another. All that stuff has to happen in community, right? That's all spiritual stuff, but it happens in community. Was in the movie War Room about strategic prayer. The most of our problems have deeper issues to deal with than getting to the main enemy of it. But emotion is holding you captive, and know the devil has no more to say to you. Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. Like you are your worst enemy. You're the one. You can only be convinced of that horrible thing that someone said if you believe it. Right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. We started with, in case you're trying to catch up. We started with the importance of relationships. We're not meant to be alone. We jumped into the dangers of isolation. And now we're going to talk a little bit about how we can kind of solve it. And, Shenanigan coming in going like, hey, you know what? I'm lonely too. And how do you fix this? I think part of it is the agreement. This is why I went through this stuff. You have to agree that you being alone is bad. Okay, that's step one. And that's why I went through this big pile, kind of to show you, maybe you're experiencing this. And if you can get to the place where, okay, me being alone is bad, even if I don't feel like it, even if I don't like it, even if I don't want to, even if, I really need to go and find somewhere to hang out. I really need to spend time with people. It has to happen, because otherwise I'm going to continue to fall apart. It's never going to get better. That it's a result of my harmful isolation. Step one. Number two, because I'm a big believer in thinking. I'm a big brain guy, and so therefore I think knowing this stuff can help you make the right decision. So I think part of the solution is realizing the help that can come from these things. So we just talked about the dangers. Let's talk about the good things that can come from connecting to other people and not being alone. The importance of loving God, loving others, right? Heart, soul, mind, strength. That is the two most important things, is loving God and loving others. With your heart, with your soul, with your mind, with your body. Love God, and then love other people the way that you'd want to be loved, right? So let's break that down and talk about what you get out of these when you do connect with people. So number one is your emotional support, right? Your heart, soul, mind, strength. This is your heart. When you do go out and you talk to people, and when you do make those relationships, and when you do spend time with others, you're going to have trusted friends who listen without judgment, right? We just talked about the danger of having it all inside. If you go out and if you take the risk and if you find that group and you're able to connect with them, you're going to have people who will listen without judgment. They are out there. And I know that part of the lie in your head is everybody judges me, nobody understands. Actually, what I'm going through is way more extreme than what other people are going through. I just keep freaking people out. Yeah, there are some people out there that can't handle it. I don't disagree with you. It does happen. But there are also people out there that can. I'm going to keep pointing to the Taco Discord. Go to the prayer channel, right? Go to the prayer channel and read. And how many people are going through grief, who are going through loneliness, who are going through job loss, who are going through lack, who are going through pain, who have just lost their pet, who have just lost, have spiritual struggles. Like, just, you're not alone. You're not alone in this. There is a ton of people going through stuff, and they all want support too, and they all want to speak and listen, and they know not to judge and not to fix. One of the rules of the prayer channel: don't fix people. Listen, don't fix. And there are people out there who will. Emotional support groups where experiences are shared and validated. This is a great place to go. So obviously finding friends is important, but also stepping out into a support group. And what does that mean? It basically is a like-minded community. So if you are going through grief, find a grief group. Going through addiction, you find an addiction group. You're going through, you're trying to find physical health, join a health group, a gym, a walking club, whatever, those kind of places. That way, when you're going through there, your experience, I'm having a hard time losing weight. I'm going through a hard time grieving. I've lost someone and I don't know how to get over it. You get to see other people that are going through it, and you are validated in the fact that it is really hard. Because now there's like a group of people there that are all like, yep, it sucks, and we don't know how to deal with it either. Even just feeling that, even just experiencing that there are other people going through that is really powerful. Really, really powerful. I remember there's a book, Spurgeon's Sorrows, which is it's about a preacher from like 100 years ago, over 100 years ago, who went through a lot of the similar stuff that I've gone through. And it's like, man, just knowing someone else, other pastor went through it. I had another book about being a pastor, and it was about abuse, facing abuse as a pastor. I joined a group. It was an online group, and we talked about it, and just pastors who've been through abusive churches, and just knowing that it's not just me, that it's a thing that people have been through, brought healing. It allowed me to have emotional support. Therapists and counselors, obviously. Yes, in Canada, we have a mental health crisis. There aren't enough counselors. Every time anybody is a good counselor, because they're paid by the government, they're like, forget that. They go find somewhere and they go private to make more money because they can, or they leave the country. And so therefore there aren't a lot out there. But I will say that there are pastors are wildly underutilized, man. I can't tell you how many people I know that are going through a hard time, need to talk, need wisdom, need counsel, need help, and they will not call their pastor or a pastor. And the reason that they give is usually the pastor's really busy. Nope, he's not. Yeah, sure, he's got stuff to do, but the most important thing for us is caring for you. That's like if the pastor is shepherd, right? That's like going, there's so many other sheep that the hurt and broken one that's all by themselves lying on the ground over there, he didn't have time for that. Actually, no. A good shepherd goes and helps that one out. That's what they want. They're like, I'm here for that. I'm not here to hang out with the healthy ones. I'm here to go help the ones that need help. That's what they're for. That's what we're built for. That's what God gave us the skills for and the patience for and the education for. What we're here for. Utilize your pastors. Talk to them. I promise you, you'd be a lot better off. Number 2, soul spiritual support. So this is emotional support, heart. This is spiritual support. Prayer partners who intercede on your behalf. I think even just sharing on the Discord and typing out your issues and seeing that little prayer number go up, lets you know that other people are praying for you. And that really is a powerful thing. And God does work on behalf of his people through prayer. Being willing to join a group that prays together or whatever, that's a big one. Prayer study groups that deepen your understanding of scripture. If you're not, some of you are part of that, but the issue that you're having and the criticism I would give is many of you go to a group to learn. That's going to sound bad, but you go to these Bible study groups to learn, to argue, to gain more knowledge, and you're not actually letting it connect to your heart. You're not actually letting it speak to you and change your behavior. You're just amassing knowledge, and you go from Bible study to Bible study to book to, like whatever, preacher to preacher, and you're just kind of gathering head stuff. And the support only comes when you allow that stuff to make the travel to your heart, as in to believe it and to make it important to you, and then to your hands to actually do the stuff that it says. Right? It's one thing to be told that you need to forgive others. It's another thing to be told in the Lord's Prayer, you have to say, forgive them their trespasses as I forgive those who trespass, forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us. It's another thing to say that. It is a totally different thing for you to go out to look into the eye of the person that hurt you and say, I forgive you, or send them a letter. It is a whole nother thing to go and ask forgiveness of someone and say, would you please forgive me for? Though very, very, very different experience. You will change your understanding of God, of yourself, simply by taking that knowledge that you're forgiven and that you're supposed to forgive others, and actually going and doing it, right? You will feel different spiritually. You don't need another study guide. What you need is to take the stuff that you already know and to practice it. That's one of Paul's when Paul was yelling at the church, he was like, you guys are still on milk. I want to tell you deeper stuff. I want to tell you, really meaty theological things, like really big brain God stuff, but I can't, because y'all are still, on pablum. You're not doing the basics. You're not going out and doing the very basic things of the faith, like prayer and being with each other and forgiving each other and taking care of each other, the one another. You're not doing that. So how am I supposed to tell you about the mysteries of the universe and the mysteries of God and all these big things? You'll never get it. Go do the stuff you're supposed to do. Ephesians is the church in Ephesus is another one, right? Boy, you guys are really good at church. You're really good at all the systems that you've created, and you forgot how to love Jesus. It's no longer touching your heart anymore. You're just talking about Jesus. You're not actually talking with Jesus anymore. You've forgotten your first love. If all we do is head knowledge and do not connect to the Spirit, we become good apologists, theologians, but not such great Christians. Yeah, exactly. Spiritual mentors who guide your faith journey. Again, I'll say it again, pastors. These are examples of places you can go, right? Like go find a friend, go find a support group, go find a therapist, counselor, pastor. But there are also the benefits. So spiritual mentors guide your faith journey. There are way too many people, way too many believers out there who are who believe that it's just them and God, and that God will tell them what the next steps in their life are, and that there's no one else who can do that because they're so unique and special and whatnot. And the truth is that we are meant to work in groups, and that there are people out there who are meant to help equip you for the good deeds that God has prepared in advance for you to do. That's their job. That's pastor's job. That's what he was there for. That's what he's meant to equip you, to help you, to hold you accountable, to chastise and to help and encourage. Like, that's their job. And the only way they can do their job is if you're willing to open up and willing to meet with them and willing to submit to their authority. You see that all the way through. It's a blessing for you to submit to good teaching. It's a blessing for you to submit to good eldership. Blessing for you to submit to Scripture and submit to the apostles, because that way your faith journey will be able to progress. But as long as you're doing it by yourself, you're going to hit walls of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, lack of wisdom, lack of experience. You can't get past where you've never been. You need someone who's gone. So chatting with your pastor or the elder or an old deacon or just somebody who's been further down the road or been a Christian longer than you. You need people who would be your mentor. And they're hard to find. Like it took me 10 years to find my first one. And that when I finally did, I was really excited. Oh, not my first one. My took me 10 years to find one when I became a pastor. I had an awesome mentor in seminary. But, once you do, it's really good. But are you even praying for it? Are you open to it? Are you open to God giving you one that might be not the one that you picked, but the one that you need? Intellectual support, educational resources that challenge you to grow your thinking. Maybe that if you are in a group, one of the things you can get is bigger thoughts, bigger understanding of the world, bigger understanding your psyche, how your brain works, how your brain chemistry works, how your heart works, how your gut flora connects to your feelings, how how the politicians and anxiety and teaching and coping mechanisms and all the stuff that you can learn is going to come from other people, right? You're like, no, I can find all this stuff on YouTube. I can pick my own books. You can only pick the stuff that you know about. You can only Google the words that you know. You can only look up the things that you want to look up. You need other people to tell you things you don't know, to give you experiences and give you understanding of stuff you never thought about before. That requires other people, right? Otherwise, you're just going to get more and more and more tunnel visioned and more believing your own press and that you're the only one who knows anything. You need other people. Discussion groups, online or offline, that explore your philosophical, theological, practical life, how to work out, all that stuff. You can't do it. You're not supposed to do it by yourself, but at the same time, you're going to do a lot better if you have other people injecting stuff into your brain that you didn't know, right? Like, say, for example, you're like, I want to lose weight. And then you never really thought that you should stop drinking pop, right? Or you don't know that when you switch to diet pop, that it actually still triggers your stomach and your gut and your intestines to want more because it processes it like it's sugar and goes, I want more. And so you're actually causing yourself more grief by switching to diet, right? It just makes you more miserable. And if you didn't know that, then you're never going to be able to get out of that loop. All you need is someone to step in and go, hey, this is the truth. This is the thing. Mentorship in areas of professional personal development. A lot of people struggling with job situations. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that, Matthew. Well, that's just rude. I know, right? It's terrible, but true. Like there are a lot of people out there that are struggling with jobs, right? How do I get a job? Where do I get a job? But when it comes to them developing their skills, they're not doing it, right? They could be out there in the time that they in between jobs going in and taking a class or learning how to knit, how to put something together. Like they could be adding to their skills, learning how to do a spreadsheet, things like that. And they're not. They want a job and then they'll start doing that. But in order to connect to others, in order to feel better about yourself, in order to feel more encouraged, more confident, having someone who's a mentor or someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to job stuff, teach you, you'll feel a lot better, right? Be left twisting in the wind to your own devices is really uncomfortable. Having someone go, this is how to do it, and this is what you should do, brings a lot of comfort. It really does. Physical support. If you have relationships and you're looking for relationships, accountability partners for your health and wellness goals, you can do that online. We have a group called I Did My, I think it's called. And it's meant to kind of share in a sort of a passive accountability way, the things you're going through, the things you're trying to do, things you've done. Accountability partners are the secret to everything, man. You want to change, you need people. If you want to get better physically and feel better physically, you need other people in your life. Otherwise, it'll never happen. And they're out there, and there's a lot of people who need it. I promise. If you go to any group, I'll say this categorically. If you go to any group and say, hey, I'm struggling with physical issue, does anybody want to talk about maybe hold each other accountable? You will get people who are desperate for it. You just need someone to step in the first time. You'd be able to go, hey, I also have that problem. And then your brain's going to be like, oh, what if they don't understand? What if it's not the same thing? What if they're the wrong age? What if they're not the right thing? What if they're not the right, it's, yeah, sure, maybe there might be the wrong, but chances are just chatting with them is going to help, right? Being alone is bad. Have I mentioned that? Healthcare professionals who address physical well-being. This is going to sound silly, but one of the things you might need to do when it comes to getting out of your loneliness loop is to go talk to the doctor. Man, when was the last time you had a checkup? When was the last time you had your blood tested? What if, just throwing it out here, what if the reason that you can't get out of bed and you are super demotivated and you're just so tired all the time isn't because you're super depressed? What if it's because you have no iron in your body and you didn't know that? What if it's because you're celiac and you are constantly unable to get any nutrients into you? What if you're triggering an allergy at all times and you don't even know it, and you have a doctor? What if you actually have an issue inside of you that is pulling away? What if you have a chemical imbalance that is actually causing issues? What if you're type 2 diabetic and it's causing you completely, you didn't even know? When was the last time you went to the doctor, told them all the stuff that was going on, and then had yourself checked? You might need that. That requires other people. You can't do that yourself. I don't care how much AI or Google or anything you do when it comes to your symptoms. You sitting in front of a doctor and going, hey, could you please do a checkup on me? You need that. You need that at least once a year, right? At least. Social support. You guys know this one. Church communities, online forums, friends and family, right? You need to let them in. You need to make the choice. It needs to be part of your life. They will give you fellowship, as in people to hang around with, belonging. This is something that you probably lack. There's so many people who struggle with this right here. Belonging. I don't belong anywhere. I don't have the skills, the abilities. I'm not friendly enough. I'm not nice enough. I don't fit physically. I don't have, nobody cares if I'm not around. Nobody will ever care if I'm not around. If I show up, I don't make any impact. As you connect to the church community, like really connect, you'll discover that there are people there who will make you feel like you belong, right? If it's a good church, and there are a lot of good churches out there, be like, where were you and how you doing? And you'll feel like when you're not there that people missed you. But if you don't ever talk to anybody, then that's not going to happen. Online forums, again, join the Taco Discord, join many other Discords, but find shared interests. It doesn't have to be Christian stuff. Same game, same hobby. Maybe you like trains, maybe like, it doesn't matter, pets, maybe like dogs, maybe whatever. For your favorite YouTuber, it doesn't matter. Find something you can hang out and build connections on one thing. It'll got to start somewhere. You'll feel a lot better if all of a sudden you spent like 30 minutes chatting with a group about, I don't know, D&D or your favorite club or whatever. Man, that felt pretty good. And it didn't have to be spiritual. You didn't have to talk about your life or your depression or your diet or any of that stuff. You just kind of talked about anime, and it was good. That you will feel better, but you have to choose to become part of those groups. Go find them. And we have lots, again, on the Taco Discord. We got the gamer group, we got meme group, we got, sport stuff when it comes to prayer, and we got spiritual conversations. We got all kinds of stuff going on. I got a Minecraft server. You want to play Minecraft? I'm going to play Destiny 2 later. Like I'm trying to create places where we have a connection, and all the other Taco team members, they all have a different vibe than me. Praise God. And we're trying our best to connect creators together who feel lonely. Like, it's there. And other places have it too. There's lots of digital churches that are doing a good job. Family and friends. We talked about that before. Getting connected to family and friends. Choosing to, even when you don't really feel like it. Right? If you're like, here's a good example. If you're playing the I wonder if anybody will remember my birthday game and then feeling bad about it afterwards. What if you called your family and friends and went, hey, my birthday's coming up. I wonder if we could do something. Right? Some of you are going to be like, well, that's just sad. No, people are busy and they feel bad if they forget. It's okay to say, hey, event ABC is coming up. Let's do something. They will be more than happy to. Don't play the stupid game where you sit there quietly and then prove to yourself that nobody cares. And all you had to do was open your mouth and go, hey, my birthday's coming up next week. And they would have went, oh, right, let's go find something to do. And then you'd be doing something with them. Thank you for the follow, Caillou. Appreciate it. Life hack, remind people of stuff. Yeah. Hashtag life hack, exactly. Other support you need, practical support, financial assistance during times of need. If you are having a tough time financially, tell people. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your church, tell your sport groups, tell people what you need. Lovely people out there. But you have to open up and you have to ask. It's how it works. Job placement services or career counseling. if you can't figure out how to get the job, I remember talking to somebody about this a while back, and they were complaining that they couldn't find a job. And I said, what state are you in? And they told me, and I went and Googled, in the state of such and such, what are the career counseling and job programs? And there was 15 or 20. And so I sent them a list. I said, which of these are you involved in? Right? Like which ones are you doing? And the answer, of course, was none. Right? I never had anybody look over my resume. I never had anybody give me career counseling. I've never had anybody try to connect me to a job place. None of it. I've just keep going on to, Google or some kind of Indeed or something and putting out my resume. I'm like, well, why aren't you availing yourself of all of this help? It's out there. Just go get some. Humble yourself enough to take it, and you'll be able to move forward a lot quicker. It is the loneliness, right? Back up here, right? Oh, I don't want to be around those people. Oh, nobody can help me. I'm not worth it. All those negative stuff that keeps you isolated and miserable. You fight that by going, I'm going to contact this job placement place, or I'm going to contact this government help agency. Or I'm going to contact the big church in town and see if they can help me. Right? Just throw out a phone call. And you're right, it is hard. And I am someone who struggles with this. Okay? I'm preaching to the choir here, to myself, because I struggle with this. I am alone a lot. And when I've had friends, they've often been very hurtful. And in my job, when I took a job, they hurt me. And in my family life, I've been abused. Like, my relationships, if you wanted to average it out, have been way more worse than they were better. All the way along, they were good people. I've met some good people. And now that I'm online and I've got the taco group, I feel more loved and cared for and encouraged than ever in my whole life. But it requires the risk, man. You got to step out there. You got to be vulnerable. You got to share. And none of it happens. And yeah, there's some people who suck, but there are also people who don't suck. And I know a bunch of people who don't suck now. And it's really, really helpful. Community programs that offer food, shelter, other necessities. They really are out there. There are places who can help you with healthy food, help you learn how to cook better, help you, there are lots of places. Go look for it. Google up some of those and be willing to ask. Oh, that's for the really poor people. If you qualify, you qualify. Okay? They have for a reason, right? That they'll say no if you're too rich, wealthy, whatever. But if you're at the place where you're kind of like, man, I could use some help, you're probably allowed. So go find them, go ask. Well, what about the free counseling services? What about benevolent? What about, places that give up toothbrushes and shampoo and stuff? Like, they're out there. What about places that will give free education, teach you how to use a computer properly, that will help you with your budget? Right? I don't know how to budget. Well, there's probably a group that'll teach you how to budget for free. Shenanigan. I remember I was talking to my therapist a couple of months ago about the struggle to clean up clutter. And I mentioned thought about before. That's good. Good part of the story. But yeah, you can keep 2 of them. Use the rest. And I totally get that. I had that problem back here. Like, I have, my daughter came in and I'm like, I don't like what my back looks like. I've been complaining about it for 4 years. And she's like, do you want me to help? And I'm like, yeah, can you help? And she just got a box and she's like, and she just took like half the stuff away. And I'm like appalled. I'm like, what are you doing? You're just taking it all away. And then, I turned around and she was done and it looked infinitely better. So much better. And turns out less might actually be better. People often feel that because they can pay XYZ, they don't qualify for help. But if you paying XYZ leaves you with nothing, you might qualify 1,000%. And it's okay to ask. And you know what? We have lots of people on the Taco Discord who would love to Google that stuff for you. Like that, they're like, I am Google Foo. That's what I've got. And so my skill is looking things up on the internet. So if you said, hey, I live in XYZ state or XYZ city, like, don't dox yourself, but you know what I mean? And I cannot find, or I'm looking for, or has anybody found help with education or with practical stuff, help me. I promise you, within a very short period of time, you'll be inundated with links. And if one of them works, you're better off. Medical, obviously, mental health, obviously, legal advisors. There are free legal advisors, by the way. I tell you, when my son died, and we were left trying to figure that out, because he was young, right? But he was a young adult. I mean, his bank was his own bank, and his phone was his own phone. And so therefore, us trying to figure all that out was really hard, and trying to figure out all the paperwork. So I sat down and I tried to do it all. And I'm like, okay, I'll try to fill it out. Finally, we brought it to a lawyer who was he worked for the government. He helped us out. And he's like, everything you did is wrong. I'm like, what? All of it? Yes, you didn't even start with the right form. Give me a bit, I'll fill it out for you. Right? There are people out there that can help if you're in that kind of situation. You don't need to do it yourself. You don't need to bang yourself head against the wall. There are people who will help. Yeah, there you go. Shenanigans is good at research. If anybody needs help finding stuff, yeah, they're there. Avail yourself of the help. The Taco Discord has people in it all the time. We're happy to connect. All right. There's so much more I could say, but I'm gonna pause here. Maybe we'll come back to this next week, where we can talk about how to take the first steps, and how to kind of bridge the gap towards IRL. First steps in relationship, then how to move to IRL, and then what it means to have healthy boundaries while you're there, right? Talk about that. But I think this is a good place to stop. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's have a little chat. Any questions you have? And I'm going to, let me just close quickly in prayer, and then we'll move over to the discussion. God, I pray that this has been helpful, and whatever is helpful, help it stick in our mind. Thank you that you've given us each other, given us yourself, that you are a relational God and live in the Trinity, and that you want us to be relational too. Help us. There are a lot of people who struggle, and you know I struggle. So help us to support one another and love one another. Amen. Okay. I'm standing for 2 hours now. What'd you miss? All of it, man. Top to bottom, back and forth. The whole thing. We should talk to people, ask for help, eat healthy, and get sunshine and exercise. Touch grass and talk to people. There you go. That would have saved us a lot of time. Yeah. My talk in 5 minutes. Sounds like a good plan, right? Could have saved you 2 hours. Yeah. So I'd love to hear from you. I know it can be a struggle to, to share or whatever, but I'd love to hear your perspective on what we talked about, and maybe parts that maybe I missed, or some kind of tip that you have that you've learned, or ways that you're struggling. Maybe we can help you out, kind of thing. Now's a good time for that. I'd love to hear from you. Eating healthy is so complicated and hard to figure out. You think it wouldn't be, right? But because of the genetic stuff that people have, it can be really complicated. And I think there's a certain spiritual reality to it too, in that there are people out there who lie, so that it can be harder to understand. There are people out there who have created foods that they say are healthy and are actually horrible and addictive and bad for you. People that become celebrities on the back of something that worked for them that won't work for anybody else, right? There are people who have been like, I will never eat anything, blah, and then they build a big following and then die of their choice, and they never told anybody that it was bad, and they never find out that the person died. And it's just, there's a spiritual reality to that, man. It really is. A lot of this is complicated. Things start somewhere. It's a good tip. Just do one small thing, and when it becomes normal, do another. I think, and a lot of it is common sense, man. Like for some people, they don't know that, right? Like, so for example, let's talk about what do you do? What's your food? What do you have in the fridge? What do you cook right now? And we can talk about that. But if you're ashamed of it, or you're worried about it, or you don't want people to tell you what to do or whatever, you're never going to get help. I mean, humans run on food. We're all the same machine, right? We all basically have the same thing. Like, we're all a car. Yes, the different cars need different, types of fuel and types of oil and different, whatever. But we all kind of run the same. And so therefore there is some universal truths. I'm a protein guy too. I love me some protein. And I mean, if you're a boy or a girl, that matters too. All right, so where you at? And if you guys you got any questions, you don't want to jump into nothing, I'm happy to take a quick break, go grab myself some protein, and then come back and play some Destiny. But I'm going to give you a minute to see if you got anything you want to say. And if not, then it's Destiny time. Duncan. Supposed to be what we run on Duncan. Right. Tim Hortons is what it is up here. Yeah. And man, if you go to the mall or you go to anywhere, the Tim Hortons always has a line. It's crazy. Like, it could be midnight. It could be 3 a.m. and there's someone in the drive-thru. Always someone there. I heard that when you're going for a casual walk for 20 minutes can help a ton. Not so much what you sweat, just movement and sunshine. Hello, good to see you, Blocker. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of movement does wonders. Dark and loneliness will keep you down, man. Why do you stream at times I'm normally not able to tune in at? Because I don't like it when you're here. I try to avoid you, and you keep showing up. I'm gonna have to change my stream time. When aren't you available, Updog? I know. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. I'm trying to avoid you. In fact, I'm gonna back up 2 hours. I'm starting at from now on. I'm gonna start at 10 a.m. and go till 2, just to make sure Updog doesn't show up. Or maybe you should just quit all your stuff. Why don't you just quit everything you do and then come to stream? Maybe it's your fault. You never think about that? Ah, man, I'm sorry. I know, I hear you. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to put up the break, whatever, you know what I mean, man. And then I'm going to go grab some protein, grab a drink, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to play some Destiny. In the meantime, do me a favor, YouTube, and give me a sub on there. That would be lovely. And !web. That way you can go and sign up for the newsletter. And what's the last thing? Yeah, !do a thing to Uptown Dog Reel. Okay? !do a thing to Uptown Dog Reel. Do that. See what happens. Be right back. Hello. Well, I guess it's Destiny time. Okay, let's do this thing. Destiny 2. Okay. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to get back into the indie game reviewing. I'm excited about it. Been a little while since I was able to jump into the indie game stuff. I'm kind of cool. And yesterday somebody sent me a couple free games. One of them's called Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk. And I'm gonna play it. And apparently it's the weirdest freaking thing in the history of ever. And that's gonna be, we're gonna try that tomorrow. I think it's really short. I think Samus played it once. Or Samus knew somebody who played it. So I'm a little nervous about it because it looks like it's gonna be weird. All right, let's do this thing. You guys can see it. It's not pulling a Minecraft and just not showing up. Annoying, stupid Minecraft. Logging in right now? All right. Well, I'm in. We'll anybody who wants to play, I don't mind. You can't ruin my life like you could in Minecraft. But yeah, it was nice last night because I finally got to finish the gunsmith bounties and get myself to level 6, and then it was like ba-dung, 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 ba-dung. It just kept getting me. Yeah, it kept showing up. You know what? Come into the game. And we should be able to hear you. I got an update, changed some stuff, and if not, we'll figure it out. Okay. I have the game set up for voice chat because I always use Discord anyway. Do you really? I mean, okay. We can use Discord if you want. Up to you. If the internal chat doesn't work, I can figure out that. It's gonna sound weird to you because I'm gonna be using the wrong headset, but GLHF, bro. Get less heavy, fatty. All right, mean, but I agree. Discord work better. Okay, I will do the thing.
The oldest encryption methodology sometimes contain the greatest treasures, and sometimes, well, not.
Okay.
I don't have training for that.
Theoretically. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, stick.
Say again.
Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I think they can. Can you guys hear him? How's the?
I heard an echo of myself before I muted the stream, so I think we're good.
Fantastic. That's what's important. All right, now come join my fire team. Mostly, yeah, that's what I thought. So we'll turn him up, but then I can turn the master down on here.
Yeah, I got a lot of background noise around me right now, so I have to keep my mic gain kind of low. So
that's cool. I just gotta make sure I turn down the game Really? There's no master volume? Of course not. All right, let's try that. All right, say something.
Greetings.
How's that? That better? Or should I turn myself down some? Up to you guys. You tell me what's good. There is a weapon that I want. I was looking at a video last night, and I saw... it was one of these. Was it this one? There's a bow in here somewhere that shoots electrical stuff. This one apparently is pretty crazy too, the sleeper simulant. But the one that I saw, it was a. Is this
You're
it?
thinking of Trinity Ghoul?
It shoots heavy bolted stun shielded combatants. Is that? No, that can't be right.
Yeah, it's a void bow.
Shock shots. Oh, they track targets. Oh wow, tracking. That's fun. Then I don't need to like aim and junk. That's not it though. Nope, that's not it. Fires stasis arrows. That's not it either.
I will say that I need to find exactly which menu it's in, but
What did I do wrong?
they hide that.
Yeah, you can buy it, and I have the money or the whatever. I can buy one thing. I wouldn't mind. I leveled up my bow like crazy, and I'm really digging my bow. But I'm like, if there's one that actually like shoots and can shock an entire area. I was watching the guy yesterday, and he just like shot it at the ground. This got to be it. Leviathan's Breath. It stuns shielded combatants. Is that right? No, that's not right.
Unshielded.
Stun unshielded. Yeah. That's not it then.
Yeah, if you're looking for a man, how is that not in the exotic kiosk? Because
It was in the video. It was in the video.
Well, things change. It might have been an older
Dip.
thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm playing Ark right now. I'm pretty sure I'm playing Ark right now. I'm trying to play. No, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
let
play.
me-
Hold on.
While we're looking, let me just do a quick check. Now,
I remember why I wasn't playing Ark. It's because I actually haven't gone and leveled up my Ark guy yet. Like I don't have any of the build stuff. Like all these, I don't have any of them. So I would need to go and open those up. So I'll just go back to Void.
Queenbreaker is either from Xur or random drops. Okay.
That might have been what it was called. Yeah.
That's disappointing.
All right. Well, okay, that's fine. I like my loadout. I'm happy with what I've got. So.
Well, you say that, but I might be able to convince you otherwise here in a minute.
Yeah, probably.
First off, I need to drop a few things in my vault so that my inventory isn't so full. And I need an upgrade module.
All right, yeah. What do we we're gonna go do you said we're gonna go do a raid? No. What'd you say? A dungeon.
Dungeon.
Yeah. All right. I was playing through this game last night, just kind of sitting in the in the Crucible, and like, what do these guns do? And I kept just changing up. I didn't like so many of them, man. I finally found basically like these three are cool, and like that one is cool. I need to find either more different or better guns, or I need to make a change to go and actually pursue some of these guns, because the ones I have are good. I like them, but they're definitely not none of them were mentioned in the video.
Yeah, we can definitely work on that. You want to pass fire team lead over to me, and then I can just pull us everywhere we need to go instead of trying to guide you through the map?
Yep.
Sounds
sure.
good.
We'll absolutely do that. Where are we even on fire team?
We're in a fire team. I'm standing right behind you.
I will do that then. Clan. Are you not in my clan? No, you're not. So how do I...
I'm on your friends list right on top.
Yeah, I know. And I right-click you, and then I don't have the thing.
No, you don't. You don't right-click me. You
Left-click.
Left-click.
All right. Promote to leader. That's how you do it. Everything else is right-click, which is dumb and annoying. But it is what it is.
Okay. So if you're done shopping...
I'm not done. I just don't know what to buy. But yeah, we can go and... it's a wander around the mall and be like, I will spend money.
You say that. You're about to get a bunch of stuff for free.
I will take it. I will take the free stuff. And I'll do my best not to embarrass myself.
You'll be fine. I can solo this dungeon on the easiest difficulty, so...
What does that have to do with me? I can
The
still
fact that
I
I
can
can
embarrass my I
teach
can
you
make it
how-
worse for you. I have the
I
capability.
can teach you how the mechanics work, so if you do end up getting shanghaied by Aki into running like the hardest difficulty later, you're not gonna be
Yes.
at a loss.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Right, so
Creepy.
yeah, this place is very trippy.
I like it. I
So
like
you see
the big spinny thing. That's kind of cool.
So this chest right here?
Thank you, Samus. Whoa, hello. There's a I was looking up at the cool thing.
No, the other chest. Turn around.
Whoop.
This one.
The big one.
Yes.
What do we got? Oh, hello.
Uh-huh. That is a
Is
really good sniper rifle, by the way.
Zogny's burden?
Izanagi's burden.
Is better than the one I
You
have.
hold. Do you?
Well, you gave me that. Remember, we went on that one, and we got the one that's really smoking.
No, that was Whisper of the Worm. This one's different.
I know. Just saying. Do I need two?
If you don't, I mean, for starters, it's at the pinnacle cap, so you don't have to grind power level on it.
Okay.
Same goes for all of that armor and the weapons.
It's certainly a lot more powerful than the one I have. All right, I can switch to sniper rifle. But all right, cool. Shall I?
So yeah, you can
It
use
just feels-
whatever that you want.
It just feels weird to get a sniper rifle when I already have a sniper rifle. But this one's clearly better. Consume the magazine and load a more powerful round. If I hit R,
You hold the reload, and it will load your entire clip into a single round that does more damage.
I kind of love that. Does my other one do
Yeah,
that? Does it have a
No,
magic feature?
What Whisper does is it will, if you can get 3 crit shots in rapid succession, it automatically reloads your magazine.
Oh, that sounds
Instantly.
harder.
Yeah.
All right, I don't mind. Let's do this thing. I will go and I'll buy. I'll get this one and we'll switch it out and see what happens.
Yeah, honestly, for what it's worth, grab everything because that way you'll have.
Oh, I can buy stuff, or is it? I thought it was a gift. I gotta get one.
All of that is free.
Oh, I get it all.
Every single item.
Oh, see, I was sitting here like
free.
agonizing of whether or not
you don't
I
have
get
to
it.
pick.
Okay,
You don't have to pick.
Cool.
So every single item in there is going to be pinnacle cap, so you can either, power it up or infuse it into the gear that you like. Either or.
I really like what I look like right now.
We're in a fire team, so you're going to be bumped up to my power level anyway.
All right.
So
Is it cool if I consume these ones?
you can if you got the upgrade modules for it.
I do.
That's
Okay.
what I did.
I'm gonna do that. Okay.
Oh yeah, you got plenty.
Oh, dude, I so haven't spent anything on anything. It
Yeah,
annoys my son to no end when he comes and looks at my inventory. He's like, "Why do you have all the money and all the stuff? Would you please go and spend some?" And I'm like, "I don't know what to buy."
Oh, dude, if he saw my inventory window right now, I've got stuff stockpiled all the way to the bottom row. I'm almost out of room in my inventory.
Oh, dang. All
for
right.
new items. So
Cool. We're going to switch out to this other fancy. Where'd it go? Oh, it's... Hold on. It goes in here. Oh, that's cool. All right, so where's the sniper rifle? Did I lose it?
I believe...
Oh, crap. It goes in the...
Yeah, because it's a
sick.
kinetic... It's a kinetic sniper rifle that is not a heavy.
Oh, that's even better.
But it can do solid output, so...
Oh, I guess I can't use that. I'll use my glaive.
Yeah, you can only use one exotic weapon and one exotic armor at a time.
Well, fun. All right. Neato. What do we got here? I can't upgrade it because it's
maxed out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's pinnacle capped. So now that you have max 2020 gear for every slot, whether or not you're actively wearing it, pretty much all your gear will drop at either 2010 or 2020.
Nice. That's even better.
Right up until the new expansion where they do a stat squish and bring us all back down to like double digits or something.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of silly that we're pushing past 2,000 at this point. Because every expansion, they would raise the power cap, but they would have to bring the floor up so that it wasn't going to be, like someone who played in year 1 and didn't play again until year 7 wouldn't have this ridiculous climb to make.
Right. Which, I mean, I get I was watching a video yesterday, and the guy actually said, I know, Uptown, this game is incredibly confusing for new players. They're trying to fix it, though, apparently. But I was watching a video yesterday, and it was like, when you're in PvP, there is no balance. Just recognize that you're just there for fun. There's no such thing as balance. I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
They try to balance for PvP, and it makes all the PvE players mad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
would you be upset with me if I consumed this machine gun, or should I not? Because I don't have a machine gun I necessarily like, so maybe I should look at it first.
Yeah, inspect it first. I think if it's the same,
nope,
it might be the same as mine, where.
Oh, I can't shoot yet. Okay, never mind. We'll figure it out another time. Good. All right. Cool.
You want to go in and inspect it real quick because I think that's the one that has like optional perks and stuff.
Oh, hey, look at that. Okay. Adrenaline junkie.
Yep.
Using your grenade ability partly refills the magazine, changes the weapon's damage type to match your grenade. Ooh. Increased damage and handling from final blows. Nope. That one. Demolition. Kills with this weapon generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon, or weapon adapts its damage output and effectiveness against energy shields that don't match the weapon damage type. That sounds better. Final blows with this weapon really grant a small amount of health. Grants increased reload speed and handling when out of combat. Rapidly defeating targets with this weapon grants bonus sprint speed. No, we're going to go with health because I keep not being alive sometimes.
Yeah, Vanguard's Vindication is a good perk for an ad clear weapon, which machine guns are very good at ad clear. So,
all right, let me pick something. The range, target acquisition. You know what? Probably that one.
For a machine gun, I usually go with backup mag, but that's just me.
Have more magazine. Actually, I usually do too, but I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Yeah, and it's really your personal preference, but okay. So the NPC here, you can pick up a few quests from once you got your gear straightened out.
What's all these?
Those are attunements. Basically, if you attune to a particular weapon, you're more likely to get it as a drop once you've gotten it at least once.
Oh, neat. Oh, I can only do some? Interesting. I can attune to this one, but I can't attune to that one.
You can attune to whatever's available as a drop currently.
Okay. Whoa, crazy.
They're going to open up a couple more dungeons over the course of the event, and that's going to make
that's
going to make more of these accessible.
Okay, well, I'm going to not do that because All right. What do I do?
Talk to her. She's got like
Those
3 or 4
I
quests
said
for
have
you.
a plan.
All right. The emissary's impeccable gaze seems to bore a hole right through you. She beckons you closer. The 9 wish to see your strength demonstrated. Where, how, on whom? It matters not. All right, I will shoot Arcone, because it matters not.
Oi. That's not how that works.
She said. All right, click. Should I grab some of these?
Yes, grab the ones at the bottom. Oh yeah, bounties. Those will give you extra
Okay.
currency too. Forgot about those.
And then, ooh,
machine gun.
I can get a cool looking thingy. Requires rather than 9. Okay, I gotta go do some stuff. Neat. Non-Narive Manifold Converter. Convert all curios of the 9 earned from Season 26 seasonal challenges to non-Narive manifolds, which can be used to redeem it towards in eternity. Those are a bunch of words.
Yeah, so basically certain, like I think one seasonal challenge a week over the course of the season awarded a curio of the 9, and you basically just stockpiled them until the event went live.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can trade those in and get the currency that lets you get random rolls for the weapons out of this chest over here.
So it says I can have 2 of them.
Yeah, no reason not to burn them.
Okay.
Such a fleeting thing.
Cool. And Nito. Oh, well, I got a bunch of those. Holy crap.
Yep.
Yours.
Neat.
You don't use. You don't spend the points on raid banners. I've got.
All right.
The end is here.
Too late.
I already did. Yeah. Yeah. That's all right. I got one. That's okay.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I would say don't actually buy anything out of the chest now, because you might want like more options.
Did I just buy something?
Because yeah, with the manifold thingies you just got.
From this chest.
Yes.
Where does it say that? I don't
Redeem.
see a sign.
It's literally floating in your HUD. The sign is right there.
It says redeem. It doesn't mean that means nothing to me. This game.
I would suggest not. Okay, which of these weapons do you want the most? The glaive, perhaps?
I am a fan of my glaive, but the choice is probably glaive or RPG, I suppose.
In that case, well, the RPG you might be able to get out of the chest now. But the glaive, you're going to have to wait until that pops up in the rotation.
All right, I can wait.
All right, so did you get all of the quests? I think I saw one that you weren't able to pick up for some reason.
I think that's because I already picked it up.
I see your fighting
Did you?
spirit.
Check again real quick. Quests. Require... Oh, you have to do the other one first. Okay.
Yep. All right, let's go do it, man.
All right.
Let's do the thing.
Sounds like a plan.
Everything dies, Guardian.
I got my bounties.
Everything.
It's a cat. Hello, cat. Can I pet the cat?
I wish. I tried. It's a star cat. It cares not. So, it's basically a normal cat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Alright, so if you want to turn around real quick and look off into the distance.
Whee! All right, up there. Do space.
That way. Okay, see that tower in the distance?
I do.
That is the tower we will be climbing.
That's a long ways away.
Well, thankfully, we have ships.
Forgive me if I'm crunching into the microphone. I don't mean to. But I'm hungry.
Yeah, I grabbed myself some pizza before I hopped on, thankfully.
Tells me that a Seraph complex recently powered on for the first time since the collapse. Shortly thereafter, Vex incursions were reported. Anna flagged the site as a potential pillory bunker. If the Vex gain access to its systems, They'll use it to wrest Rasputin's submine data away from us.
Mm.
It would be catastrophic.
This is definitely out of order for story for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. This dungeon came out during a actually really good story season.
I'm looking forward to playing the story more. Now that I've been literally, I took a leap of level up in the last 15 minutes here, and so I feel like jumping into the story would be good. All right, see what this thing does. Ooh.
You've landed at the source of the complex's arc supply. Centuries in Martian rust have done this place no kindness. Our window of opportunity is short.
Bumped into a wall.
Arc surges destabilize the complex, and Vex are breaching the command matrix. Go.
Not the command matrix. Dadgum.
That sure was a lot of words for, someone who has not played enough of the game. Okay, so when we get up to where the first encounter starts, you're going to see one lone Vex goblin. Do not shoot it.
Important
because
tip.
that will start the encounter.
Okay, all right.
If we leave it alone, that gives me time to explain the mechanics to you.
Okay.
Respect the tumbleweed.
That guy. Don't shoot that guy.
Right. Okay. So once I shoot that guy, Vex are going to start spawning.
Yep.
There's going to be, the typical annoying little mooks, and then there's also going to be the Minotaur guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then up on the ridges to the left and right, there's going to be 4 Cyclops turrets that pop up. Leave those to me. The Minotaurs, when those go down, they'll drop an AoE that will give you a buff called Arctrician.
Okay.
Once you get that buff, you're going to see targets pop up on your HUD. Those will show you where the arc nodes are that you need to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them lead to that panel that's kind of across the way behind the goblin there.
Okay.
And basically you kind of have to route electricity from the start points to the end points. And there's 4 of them that we have to do.
I'm doing electrical engineering, but with a gun. Fun.
Yep, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this goblin. Then I will take care of the Cyclopses. Also, watch out because where we were just standing, a Minotaur is going to spawn.
Oh, all right. Cool.
So if you want to...
Hey, no moving. Stop moving.
All right. Cyclopses are done.
This is a fun gun.
Arctrician buff, go!
Oh, I'm supposed to go in? Is that the plan here?
Yep.
Aha.
And you'll get a slight refresh on the Arctrician buff every time you shoot an arc node, so...
Oh. Aha! Cool. I did it. I'm... that isn't how electronics usually work, but,
It's space magic, just go with it. Watch out for the supplicants. They like to hug you and then blow up.
Something, 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 first girlfriend.
You said it, I mean.
All right, where are we at?
I'm going to take care of this guy. Refresh my buff, and then get this last cable started.
I am super out of... There we go. Far out. I think we're good. That isn't the right weapon for this. Gulp.
Doesn't matter.
Unusual to see so divisive Vex
Kinda
outside
matters.
the Black Garden. They're a fanatical sect of programming devoted to the darkness, or rather the witness.
Let me guess. Jump down there. They love making me jump down stuff.
Yep. Ouch. See, you did it right. You're supposed to jump towards the bottom.
In a seraph complex. Peculiar. They were rivals in the Golden Age. This wasn't just a pillory site. It was a joint research facility focused on extrasolar colonization efforts. The Soul Divisive have been scouring research logs. They were looking for something more than to imprison Rasputin's subminds.
The vertical in this game, they love it, don't they?
Oh yeah, just wait till you see the next bit.
The last place that you took me, where it was like all dark all the time, and then everything was like I found it impossible to find. Uh-oh. Where'd you go?
Just keep following.
I don't know where you are.
There you go.
I guess the red one makes sense.
All right, so actually, before we move forward, see out that window there?
Yeah.
You see all that stuff to the left?
The little balls that are floating there?
Look up. The panels with the balls on them?
Yeah.
That's the easy path that unlocks after somebody does it the hard way.
Okay. All right.
So,
Which one are we doing?
well, if you like, I can do the hard way, and then we'll open up that second path for you.
I'm at your disposal. I will be playing this game more and more, so not like it won't happen.
Well, you're welcome to follow me across this stretch of jumping, but we need to take out some dudes first.
All right, I got to get up there. All right. Man.
I have anti-barrier on this weapon game. Why aren't you giving it to me?
That's too easy. How am I supposed to get up there? Oh.
Jump?
Look up, stupid? Okay, fine, I will.
Okay, I thought there was something to pick up over here, I guess.
That's crazy.
You can just ignore that way. Nothing important over there. Okay.
Grab it! Ah! Dang it.
Thankfully, in this difficulty, there are infinite respawns and no darkness zone.
As in, like, if you do, like, legendary stuff, is that the problem? Nope, that's not gonna work. Darn. That's hard, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I must not have went the right way. No, I don't have enough juice to get there. All right.
You're using triple jump, right?
Yeah?
Should.
All right, we'll try that again. No, that's not right. Oh, crap. What's with that classical music?
Oh, didn't you know Rasputin's a ballet fan?
Is he? All right, well, there you go. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Russian ballet, specifically.
Yeah, I would think so. I hear he's a fan of the Russian Queen, too.
There we go.
All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get it. Grab it! Dag nabbit, that was hard. All right, now where am I going?
Good job.
All right, now where are we going? Hello.
Uh-oh.
You know what? That sucked.
Yeah.
I was trying to hit it with a bow and arrow. What do you want?
And now he's focused on me. Cool. There we go.
I gotta make this dumb jump again. Oh man. Nope. I thought I was gonna start the Nutcracker Suite. That would have been embarrassing.
Incidentally, the backup path is available now.
Incidentally, I am awesome. We can do this. We can do this. All right, where to next? Is it on these balls?
Right there. You can go there.
All right.
Or you can go down there. Take your pick.
Come in!
I did it dumb.
Oh man, your levels are hard. Hey, I'm up here. Oh, that was 3 jumps. No way that didn't count. I guess I didn't touch the last floor. That sucks. All right, no problem. No problem. Nope, I didn't do it again. Dang it.
Yeah, you want to get up on the railing of that one.
That's what I was trying to.
Jump
Yeah,
off
I was
there.
trying to jump from the railing, but I was trying to get a running start from it, and it wasn't running starting me. Grab it. Oh, that's barely.
There you
All right,
go.
let's go. Now, over there.
There's a ledge right down there.
Is there?
Or you can just use the. That works.
Is that the easy way?
Yeah, basically.
The balls? Yeah. Okay. Whoa! Dang it! I keep pushing forward. I need to not do that. All right, no problem. Where are we at? Where are you? What's going on here? Doink. Bump, bump, bump. Doink. Bump, bump, bump. Doink. So much easier that way.
right, so we're gonna run over here real quick. Don't fall down.
So is this a lot of experimentation, as in like, what to do, where to go?
When you're first going through it, yeah.
Because
there's a thing to collect up here.
Because I don't see the dot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
I collected something.
Oh, you got it?
Yep.
All right, so stay close to the pillar.
Right. Sure. Oh,
Wow,
let's
okay,
go.
Cool. All right, you know what? My dude. Oh, thank you.
Hey, heavy ammo. I can use my fancy gun. Which I'm so cool, I can reload while falling up. Didn't even phase me. Wood floors. Man, this guy's fancy.
Information stored here, but could it be linked to my visions?
Yes, probably.
Why else would the witness be interested in these files?
My son said this game reminds him a lot of Doom when he was playing it. And I can kind of see what he was talking about, but I don't think Doom had so much verticality, did it?
Definitely not the original, and can't say for sure about the 2016 remake because I haven't played it. But
hey, how'd you put down the flag?
There was a circle here to put a
Oh,
flag.
it tells you to do that. Okay, cool. So you can't put it anywhere you feel like.
Nope.
Step away from your traveler before.
Okay,
its
so what's going to happen
machinations
here
rend you limb
is
from limb.
we have to
We have
climb
no
the
need of
outside of the tower to get up to the top.
Oh.
And to do that, we have to do the arctrician stuff to open up the vertical lifts that'll get us higher.
Found a hole to fall through. Dagnabbit. I feel like such a noob. I really do.
Look,
It's
this is
brutal.
This is why I brought us in on Explorer, because I knew that trying to do this on a harder difficulty was just going to be frustrating for, all the wrong reasons.
Well, it's I mean, it's funny because this game isn't just
I'm not talking.
shoot.
I'm not talking about me being. Yeah, I'm not talking about me being frustrated by you. I'm talking about you getting frustrated.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do. No, and you're not wrong. I guess it's just funny because, well, I guess once you've been a game for that long, they're like, okay, what are we going to add to the game? And when it turns out Frogger's the way to do it, or rather Qbert.
Yep. So once we take out this Minotaur, we grab the Arctrician buff. All right. You go to the right, I'll go to the left.
There we go, there. Nope. Yeah, they can just shoot
Really?
it. That works too.
There we go. Well, now we have to go get another Minotaur.
I was working my way up there, but I'm like, man.
There we go. Yeah, the super hard difficulty they added, ultimatum. Ridiculous.
I bet.
Because they added bosses that you have to clear off of each floor, like mini bosses.
Well, they were talking about endgame, you know, Destiny endgame kind of thing, and I'm like, I know these games have endgame, and it makes sense, but like, what that even means? You can keep playing forever if you want to, or you can apparently get to the end.
It's meant like endgame's meant to be like the top tier challenge level with the most rewarding stuff. All right, yeah, you just go right down there, Hydra. Not shoot at me.
Did we do it already? We're good. All right.
Okay, come on. There we go. All right.
All right, what?
Elevator's open.
As in the one in the middle here?
Yep.
Oh, nope, not that one. Owie! Yeah, that hurt. Whoops. All right, what elevator? Way up there. Okay, cool. I will now locate that elevator.
Yeah, it's you kind of have to jump out to like what looks like some solar panels sticking out from the structure.
All right.
That is on the other side of the building.
Well, that's not it.
Oh, come on.
That it? Nope. Oh, yeah. I'm glad there's a little icon, but that was not intuitive.
Almost done with this. There we go.
Dang, all right, cool. I was worried that some of it fell off, you know?
Well, if that does happen, it gets sent to the postmaster.
Oh, that's
anyway,
right.
so.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Vex mine remains in this terminal like an open door. It's using the tower's arrays to connect with installations across Seoul. This must be in preparation to imprison the submines. Breaking their connection could end this threat.
I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, just barely. Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
They are really making it. Whee! That's fine. Oh, totally on purpose. I just want to see what would happen. It was science. Not sure I came up the right way, but I came up.
No, that was pretty much it.
Why'd you eating that dude?
You might want to rally up first so you can get your heavy ammo back. All right. We do the electrician thing again. He's shielded until we can EMP his shield off. There we go. We'll be all the way over here. Okay.
Don't make me shoot you in the junk, because I will.
Okay, so we're doing the electrician thing again. It's going to go down each of these pathways.
Yep.
You're going to have to go, like, up, over, around, under. And
Right.
then the last one that we complete is where we start the damage phase on the boss.
Okay.
So, first off, he's going to, basically face off against us. He's still going to have his shield. And he'll have, like, these glowing eyes on the various fins. What we want to do is take those out, and then that'll clear the shield for damage phase.
Okay.
In the meantime, while we're trying to do the electrician stuff, clear out as many of the ads as we can, because we're just going to get in the way when it comes to the boss damage. And be very annoying. Did I mention the annoying part?
Yeah, yeah. I missed one. Ah, dang it. Alright. I think we're good now. We are not. I gotta go do those ones there. That's crazy.
I'm just meet me over here at the end, because I'm finishing up this set.
Okay. in. It's a bird, it's a hawk, it's Divorce Mighty Beach Hydrant. Hello.
Back here. Back here.
1 second.
Thanks. No, shoot. Okay, we gotta get to the marker.
I apologize for not paying more attention, but it's getting a little dicey in here, actually. So how are you? Welcome. Hello, Devoria. Hello, Lion Warrior. Hello, Scone. Welcome. Freaking love scones. How are you?
Oh, shoot, we need our trip.
Are you? Do you play the Destiny? Are you a Destiny dude? Because I certainly am.
All right, meet up down here. Boss damage time. You want to be over here.
I'm trying. Shoot it in the butt.
That's not gonna work. You gotta shoot the eye.
But the butt.
That's not a weak spot. Probably want to be using either your heavy or your big sniper rifle.
I'm all out of heavy. What? Yeah, no, I don't have a heavy. I can switch my glaive though.
Okay. We'll grab our attrition. On this difficulty, we only have to do one of these arms again. And it's the one we were just on. Cool.
Well, that's interesting. Holy Dinah. Funny, I have a favorite gun. We played Subnautica, got my Cyclops Marine stuck in the Lost River. Oh, nice. Nothing like a gentle ride through Subnautica to make you wish you were never see water again. Yeah,
Right, over here.
Where's over here? Hold on, I gotta find you. There we go.
Sir? Sir, I'm gonna need you to stop shooting me.
Hello?
All the glowy targets. All of them.
He's immune again. Why is he immune again? This is a pain. Yes, this is, we're shooting pre-fall Satan. Just, you know, we're trying to alter the past. And if you didn't know, yeah, angels apparently make that buzzing noise. I didn't know that.
Getting more heavy. I'm down to just about one weapon. There we go. How did that not kill him?
I got one bullet. Not cool. Would you just give me a bow and arrow? Yeah, hey, anybody can come. I'm happy to have anybody in my clan or fire team because I'm the liability.
Hold over the security systems.
Now you're doing
Perhaps
fine.
now we can.
There's nothing that you can do that won't make
the reactor core
it
to a
better.
meltdown. It's going prompt critical. Those power surges were intentional. Get to the reactor, lest we lose everything.
No, once we defeat Satan in the past, obviously there's no problems anymore. Obviously.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
That's how time travel works. You just go to the past, solve your problems.
Ow. You landed on my face just as I looked up.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what you get for looking up. We're going down.
I was making sure you didn't get lost again.
Me?
Yes.
Wait, are we working our way out of this place now?
No, we're working our way down into the center of it.
Oh, but that sounds like way dangerous.
You think? That's why we're here.
Oh, I guess that
We're
makes
Guardians, we can handle it.
That makes sense.
All right. And then... Come on down.
Well, crap. Now what do I do?
Don't get hit by the fan blades.
Okay, but like, how do I get back up?
We don't get back up.
But I'm in here and I can't. Okay. So what would I have done if I was by
going down.
myself?
We're going down.
All right. Hey, heavy. Yay. Oh, I see. I didn't realize where you were.
Yeah, big old hole opened up in the floor.
All right. Yep. I thought I fell in the hole, and it was like a. I was screwing up the level. Morning, Duck.
Yep.
Good to see you.
I watched that happen.
Hey, that one was going faster than the other ones. Not my fault.
Maybe try landing on
The middle?
a platform.
Yeah, there's an idea.
That works. Yeah, well.
Ow! Nailed it. First try.
There we go. See, I have a gun that actually lets me shoot you for a benefit. Because it heals you.
Oh, I shoot you for a benefit just to make myself feel better.
Have merit. We must
We are
secure
not
the
the same.
complex to convince Ikora.
Oh, the red dot.
Trust is
Why were they
Real
making you
thing.
look at the... Oh, because the eye doctor.
much as our
Honestly, I
mission.
saw a dentist.
This can restore her faith in me. I need this.
You know what? I could probably use this now. This was a great idea. I have a great idea. How are you doing, Duck? How'd the pictures go? Did you figure out what to do with your hair? Sup, Supersonic? How you doing? Yeah, D&D tomorrow.
Be careful not to jump here.
Okay. On purpose.
That worked.
Yep. Is a tactical.
All right, this next room's going to be a little tricky. Don't stay in the middle once you land.
Ow! Okay, don't stand there either. Okay.
All right. All right. We need to take out these targets as quickly as possible. We get them?
Get rid of his go. Yeah. So how did pictures go?
Here we go.
Which way did he go?
There's a hole in the corner of the room.
Ow.
All right, let me
Gravity.
just take a look.
My true worst enemy.
Ah, there it is. Okay, don't jump down the center. Come over here real quick.
That's crazy. I would never have found that in a million years.
Yeah, I had to look it up on a YouTube video.
Heck yeah.
Okay, now we drop down the middle.
Feel good, but sore eyes. Oh, it felt good. Okay. As in, like your eyes were off for the picture, or they kept flashing.
Should stabilize.
Hello.
All right, yeah, rally up here. So, the mechanics here are basically the same as they were before. The thing is, that boss is going to be chasing one or the other of us the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a Terminator. He will not stop.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll take care of the Arctrician stuff. Just, clear out the little guys. And if you see that boss coming your way, run.
Sounds good.
Okay. So, gotta take out the Hydras so that the Minotaurs will spawn so we can do our attrition. Ow. Yeah, watch out for those guys too.
Thanks. This is my favorite gun by far. By far. It's powerful and it makes everything else explode.
Okay.
Flash bangs. Oh, was it really? 10 times? That's not bad. That's crazy. I mean, usually they give you one try, right? Like, this is all you get. Okay, that's your picture forever. Can I kill the bad guy now? Are we doing stuff?
Nope.
Okay, I get it. My class photo and then 12 times
No.
to my house
Other way,
leader.
other way, other way,
Oh,
other way.
dude, that's so great. That's exciting.
You don't want to be in there.
Okay. But I super am. Ah, help!
Okay. Get your best weapon out, and Aim center of mass. Big glowy spots. All right. And we just rinse and repeat.
Oh, seriously? That sucks. Hello, Wolfcat. I was kidnapped, and then now here you are.
Where do you think you're going?
I need to find a... There we go. Okay, where are we at? Whoa, hi there. Everybody exploded on me. Rude. All right, have a good one. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. What? All the way to... Ah, man.
It's fine. You'll just be dropping into the crazy.
Was the order they did the photo with tallest front short. Tallest in front, shortest to the back. Oh, they put the shortest in the back? Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Ooh!
I gotcha.
At least you're an actual photographer. Yeah, right? Some teacher with a camera going and running people through like crazy. Yep.
Good grief. All right, back outside. Grab heavy if you need it.
Now he comes at us. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, at all. This gun is a good gun.
All right, one more.
Really? Dude.
One more cycle and we got this.
Video games, am I right?
Hey man, I'm not Aki.
Oh, running two glaives? That makes no sense. Sure.
Excuse me, sir.
Pardon me?
Mr. Boss, sir.
Bunk.
You're in my way.
Thank you. Well, this is annoying. I don't like this gun at all. I think I need a purple sniper, a legendary sniper, because the sniper that I got is, it's, what's the word? The yellow one anyway, right?
The exotic?
Yeah, and the exotic that I like is is way more powerful against small enemies.
That sounds about right.
What's in here?
All right, get clear.
Okie dokie.
About to start damage phase 3.
What? Where's my reload? Ah, sick.
Come on. There we go. Down.
Can I help?
This was a clever incision by the witness. A multi-front attack. Sabotage us, glean knowledge, and annihilate any trace of advantage. Extrasolar colonies. Ages ago, Saint and I thought we'd leave the city once we'd made it safe.
Everybody peeking through each other's legs, right, Quiz? Yeah.
That time
Around
never
shoulders.
There we go.
A matter of finite seconds lost in the margins then.
Okay. I was
Now,
grabbing Glimmer that's happened to be floating
there's
around
only
there.
the want of more. But we learn to make do, young wolf.
This guy is so
Turn
dramatic.
the edge of defeat into victory.
Yeah, he's getting all introspective and stuff. Osiris does that. Alright, cool. Now we can...
Inspect my loot. What'd I get? I got a I don't like grenade launchers, so that's no fun. I got a machine gun, the same machine gun. Three of the same machine gun, so that's fun.
Yep, you basically figure out which perks you like best and toss the others. Alright, I'm going to take us back to the right of the 9 lobby, and you can turn in those quests.
All right, rock and roll. I'm learning how to play, even though there's so much, you know. Whoever said this game is confusing, I think it was Uptown Dog. It's true, almost purposefully so. But I come back to the fact that this game is super old and they add all the time. Like, I don't know how many seasons are there per year, right? And so if they're adding cool stuff every season, and they've been doing that for a decade, then yeah, it's going to have a lot of stuff.
Well, if you're by 10 years of Destiny, they're counting Destiny 1 in there as well.
Which I'm sure they carried some stuff over, but yeah, okay, I understand what you mean.
Yeah. But, yeah, they've been bringing some old stuff back. Like 3 of the 4 raids from Destiny 1 have been re-implemented in Destiny 2. And everyone keeps hoping they'll bring back the 4th raid.
I deal in judgment.
What do I got? Who's that? Scout rifle. Okay. Thanks.
Yep. That's got a hollow foil shader on it as well, so you'll want to take a look at that.
Ooh la la! Hierarchy of needs.
Yep. So,
Charges
if you really want the bow,
a guidance system.
if you really want the bow, you can grab the bow. But everyone says that the trace rifle is better, so you don't have to try farming it from the dungeon.
Well, too late because
you already grabbed the bow. So. Yeah, I was halfway through my sentence and I watched you grab the bow, and I'm like, oh
in my
well.
defense, Last time I sat there and waited and waited and waited, and the end of the result was, oh no, you can have all of it. So this time I just assumed I could have all of it, but that's fine.
No, you had to pick one.
That's okay. I picked one. All right.
This is the last time.
All right, and then
Live
you got
well.
one quest to open up the chest over here.
Oh, I think it's that exact same thing I just got for the 4th time. Let's see.
I bet you the other one's shinier.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Am I allowed to open this thing again?
I mean, you can open that thing as many times as you want, but you're not going to get anything out
Oh,
of it.
I see.
Once you got all the stuff, you got all the stuff.
Yeah, okay. I get you.
Yeah, unfortunately, this chest up here doesn't open unless unless you finish the dungeon on a higher difficulty.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That was
maybe.
nuts, man. It really was. I felt like I was barely hanging on to what the heck I was supposed to be doing in there. Wellcraft Wednesday? It is. It's Wellcraft. Well, or Orwellian Wednesday. That's gonna be the next one.
Well, there we go. And you got another quest to run through the dungeon again if you want.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna go through my loot a little bit for offline and try to figure out what the heck I got. Thank you for taking me through that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem.
It was I can see what that basically, like, the first time around, it is the first time around for everybody, right? And you're looking around like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? But then the second, third time you run the thing, all of a sudden it starts to make more sense, right? Like, how many times have you?
Yeah,
how many times have you done that?
Actually, I've soloed that particular difficulty of the dungeon twice now.
Right.
And then the original form of the dungeon, which is definitely more difficult, more challenging, I can actually clear the first encounter. The climb to the top, I can solo that. I haven't been able to solo the second encounter, so I haven't even touched the third.
Oh, okay, wow.
But at some point, we are definitely going to want to go in there, especially if you, say, maybe want a cowboy hat. Because the armor theme from that dungeon is Western wear for Guardians.
Oh, that's
and it is
funny.
Beautiful. Here, let me show you real quick. Let me put on my yep, here we go.
There it is. Wow.
Yeah.
It's got a
I was so happy to get this helmet.
Really? That's so funny. Dang. Does it have a perk or anything? Like something that it does?
Well, basically, I got the helmet and then unlocked the cosmetic version of it, so I could apply that to any helmet I have.
Right.
I just happen to be using an exotic helmet right now, so
that's cool.
That's why I got the Daft Punk look going on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I like the outfit's cool. I like it. All right, dude. I'm gonna shut her down before these shadows make me hurl.
Good. Yeah, it's it's a bit weird.
All right, thanks, man.
It's a bit weird.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow for D&D.
Yep. Catch you later.
Yeah, bye-bye. I'm trying to hang up and it's not hanging up. There we go. Well, I mean, we're 20 minutes early. I get that. But you know what? Once you're at the end of the thing, what else is there to do? I'm happy to do AMA. I am always happy to do AMA. If anybody has anything you want to talk about, and we can totally do that. But other than that, it's time to go. I've been spending time in the evening occasionally trying to run through Destiny and trying to do some figure out, how to play and level up and whatnot. And then you bump into someone who's been there for a while, like Arcone, and all of a sudden it's like, go here. And everything just gets infinitely easier all at once, and it's great. There have been parts, sometimes people have done that when I've been playing games, and they take me to whatever location, And it turns out that what happens is you skipped a lot of the learning process. And so you end up with gear and access to levels you shouldn't have. But Destiny doesn't seem to be like that. Destiny seems to be more along the lines of, here, go do this. And then you can go back and play whatever you want and level up your character, and it balances out. I know that like, for example, I wouldn't go to PvP right now because I'll get my butt absolutely handed to me. Because PvP is, like you're playing against people who know what they're doing. And at level 2020 or whatever, the expectation, I would imagine, is that you have a clue too. So when I show up, they wouldn't want me there. Right? But I'm still having fun, and I'm still enjoying it. I've done any of the story, not really. Barely scratched the surface of the story, so I look forward to doing that. But yeah, there's always another time, always another week. Tomorrow is Thursday. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow, if you don't already know, tomorrow is going to be Dungeons and Dragons Day. So what we do is I start the stream and we do normal game stuff. I've got an indie game, an indie game we're going to be playing, and that's going to be kind of cool. We're going to do weird pictures, and we're going to look at the weird stuff on the internet. Then we're going to, at 3:00, we're going to switch over to having the group come in and the clan, the squad, the D&D, what do they call them? Anyway, the people who play it with me. And then we're going to do that for 3 hours, starting at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. will be D&D, and we'll get to roll dice and have an adventure. But this is month 5. I think this is the 5th month in a row, and we're well into the adventure now. Our DM is we're getting near what we're trying to achieve. Meeting the guy we're supposed to meet, and hopefully we're gonna make best friends. I'm hoping to become best friends. I know that he's evil and trying to destroy the universe and all that stuff, but maybe it's just because he's lonely. You never know. Could change his life. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing that. And so it's a big day tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Let's find someone we can raid out to. I don't know who's on, and I don't know what's what, but I do know that I have a lot of loot to go through and videos to watch on what the heck I'm doing. Because I actually don't know what I'm doing. As long as I'm talking about Bible stuff, life stuff, philosophical stuff, I'm good. You put a gun in my hand and suddenly things get confusing. But that's okay. We're all in this together, right? Oh, we haven't raided Will in forever. Let's raid Will. Looks like you got a haircut. Yeah, come on in tomorrow. Tell your friends. Best thing you can do, most helpful thing you can do for a content creator. Yes, clipping is nice, and yes, being there and lurking, all that's very good. But one of the most helpful things you can do is tell people. Just go and say, hey, I discovered a dude, I discovered a streamer, and I'm having a lot of fun. They seem pretty cool. Go in and have a chat with them. And that word of mouth is what grows these things. And so I appreciate it if you would tell your friends. But other than that, I'll see you tomorrow, and I look forward to hanging out. Come say hi to my guy, Will. He's a good dude. And he's married to a model who is also a lawyer. So ask him about his wife. I think she's made up. I think she's completely fictional, and he just made her up. He keeps saying he does, but go pester him. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye, Zach.